Oh,
Play the movie.
Like the pigs from Shrek.
Yeah. Play the movie. Yeah.
Walnut von Wolfhausen's.
Gosh.
Put it in the Schweizer.
You cannot compete in the beer fest. You're too fucking lame. Fucking losers. You cannot participate in the beer fest. You cannot even hold your booze. You fucking wimp.
I like the Batman.
Of course you do.
What the hell is happening? So confused.
Of course you are.
I don't know what the hate is about the Batman. Like, I don't get it.
It's about
I
the
think it's such a
Batman?
good movie. Everyone's always
wait.
like, "Ah!"
look at Mr.
Well, no,
Gaslighter.
it's just Australians.
It's the Australians. Those from down under don't. They.
You know what?
they're
You're not wrong. I heard another guy bitch about the fucking look of the Riddler, and I was like, really? That's your problem? The way the Riddler looks? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I like the way he looked.
God damn it! How's the
Well,
Australian?
we're used to Dawson.
I want an Australian. I
Fair.
want him to have a bowler cap and a cane.
A bowler cap.
I want him to have a bowler cap and a cane and a domino mask. It needs to be purple domino mask. I'll tell you. Riding it down under.
Running down under. Okay, with offending an entire nation, let's go ahead and start this.
Yo.
What's up?
What's up?
It's been a hot minute since we've had all four of us here.
We're at
For
full
show.
power. Full power.
The core four returns.
The core four.
A koala, wallaby. Yes.
A
venom.
Koala.
Parkour.
Oh, we're carrying this into the show. Okay.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
look, it's Axel Droga. He's a
It's Axel Droga.
Can't get a divorce. We were never married.
Droga's like, I don't like the Batman. What's up, Sean?
What's up, man?
I don't like him without the domino mask.
Man.
I like Domino's pizza.
It's 30 minutes or less. They were
30 minutes or less. Oh my gosh.
But no, I'm serious though. Like I see it all the time on X and on wherever,
well, then
and I just don't get it. Like I just think I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think it looks great. It's a great
Well,
movie.
apparently he doesn't want the bowler hat. He says it really looked fine in the movie.
Okay. I wasn't referring to you, actually. There was someone else that I heard before I stopped talking to them bitch about the look of the Riddler in the movie. Matter of fact, they bitched about the entire look of the entire characters of all the movies. It was insane.
The problem too is that like for Axel, I know he has a hard time staying awake because he tries to watch it and he falls asleep because his attention span is so low that he starts playing video games or just does something else. So something's got to work on.
Yes, comes with age.
It comes with age, I guess. Oh God.
Oh,
That's
man.
not the reason I fall asleep at the fucking movie. It's just boring.
It's because you're old. That's why.
No, it's because
It's not boring. I actually like the movie.
It's so boring, dude. I tried to watch that shit again. I was like,
It's a
It's
slower
so
pace.
boring. Listen to me as I wear a Nightwing shirt and I bitch about the Batman being boring because I'm old and edgy.
I'm edgy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you're
know,
cool,
I am edgy.
Ryan. And you're cool because you don't give a shit.
You know what I just recognized, Phil?
What?
Has anyone ever told you look like Andy Samberg?
Don't you?
Oh, he does. Oh my God. Did not think about that.
Has
I've
anyone
been
ever
watching a
told
lot
you?
of Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately.
Yeah. Okay. Has anyone ever told
And-
you look like Paul Dano?
A lot,
A
actually.
lot of people. That's not a surprise.
Yeah. Well, that's the look he was going for with.
What? You know what? I'll take
He
that
came out of
over-
his mother.
I'll take that over Steve Buscemi any day of the fucking week.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait.
That does look more accurate. Holy shit.
Hey, Steve Lemmy, awful twin.
Mr. Fargo's
Shut your mouth.
in the house. Mr. Fargo's in the house.
Oh, what's up? Hello, fellas. How's it going?
Oh, wait,
Howdy, howdy, ho.
what were you, Mr.
Ryan looks
P?
like Peter B. Parker.
Wow.
I like that actor. He's a good actor.
Oh man.
No, I think he means the
Where
animated
is-
Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, that's what I thought he meant.
What?
Who's the real actor?
the guy from
Johnson.
Did you say Big Johnson?
Jake Johnson.
Oh,
The guy from New Girls.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. That guy.
Oh,
That
sorry.
guy.
New Girl.
Yeah, new girl. Yeah. Oh man.
Sure, hold on, let me. But you're right. I never thought about Andy Samberg. Isn't there also an Adam Sandberg? That's somebody different, I think.
Well, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
But Andy Samberg, like I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so that might just be it. But this has been my background noise when I've been working lately. Which, okay, this is kind of funny. I've been watching on Netflix, and Netflix only has the first 4 seasons. Hey, there you go.
Dude, that looks so... Oh, my God.
Well, that's not a flattering picture of him.
But still, that's more of a natural picture of him.
But anyway, so it went on for 8 seasons, but I didn't know it went on for 8, and so I knew it got canceled at some point. But the end of season 4 has the character Jake Peralta being sent to prison, and I thought that's how the
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
We don't care.
Ryan, I know you don't care. You can shut your hole and draw.
That wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I'll say that. I actually liked the show.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I watched it when it was.
I will own that.
Okay.
I will own that. I will own that.
He'll own that.
That was
But
me.
it was
That
well
was absolutely me.
That was the real
It just seemed
time.
like a very Ryan thing to do. So Ryan, I apologize for the false accusation.
You heard it here, folks. Ryan got an apology from Dawson.
The first Inquisition.
The first Inquisition.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Andre looks like the guy with the poncho from Emperor's New Groove. What? I've never seen that movie.
Like
I've seen Andre in real life.
Poncho?
Andre is not that big.
David Spade?
No.
No. That was
Spade.
The bigger guy with the fucking hand in the meme. The bigger gentleman. Andre doesn't look a fucking thing like him. What Dawson just did.
Yeah.
No. He looks like a bigger Pee Wee Herman.
No, it's Paul Rubens, to be honest. And may he rest in peace, because he has passed.
Yeah.
I know that Ryan held a memorial stream for Paul Rubens. Didn't get a big turnout,
Yeah, I
but
was
still,
like,
it was the thought that counted.
I jacked off in the theater and in commemoration.
Oh
Wow,
my
dude.
God.
Didn't need to hear
Hey,
that.
too fucking soon?
Oh my God, I don't care. I do not. I don't care.
Freaking hell.
What? That happened.
We didn't need to know
Okay.
that you got
Now you just ruined the whole show. Now we're
Yeah,
like,
all right,
how
I'll
do
see
we
you later,
pivot from
guys.
this? Yeah.
How do you pivot?
How do you pivot from this?
Well, he did more Pee Wee. Oh yeah, he was also in Batman Returns after that. So he did.
He
bounce
was in
back.
Mystery Men.
He was in
He was.
Mystery Men as
Yeah, he
the
played Spleen.
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 Oh my finger.
I know.
He was also the father of Oswald Cobblepot in Gotham. He played
Yeah.
Robin.
Oh,
he did
yeah.
come back for Gotham too. Yeah.
True. That is a good point. Good.
Not the only one of the few things worth a damn in Gotham, but that's neither here nor there.
Gotham is
I
one of
thought-
those shows where Gotham, the first season, when it was just simply a detective show, was at its
That's what I
best.
thought it was gonna
Mm-hmm.
be. You know, I thought it was. I didn't think it was gonna be like, all right, here's Batman without Batman, and here are all the villains that Batman kind of lent.
Well,
When they
that
started
was the
getting to
problem.
more
And-
all Batman stories, that's when it derailed.
yeah,
Well, yeah, because they ran out of ideas, and they're like, "Well, now what do we do? Okay, we'll have him take on the Scarecrow. What about Batman? I don't care." He's like, he can't be in the show. He
It should have
WB
just
won't
been a
let us.
limited series. Don't fucking keep it, going and shit.
yeah.
I mean, it was a cool concept, especially
Yeah.
like the first season, and,
Yes.
and you could tell too in the first season, the main villain was what was her name? Jada Pinkett's character.
Oh god.
Fish Mooney.
Why did they bring her back? Mooney or Moody?
Mooney.
Yeah, well, because think about it, because I think at first they were trying to avoid using Batman characters, and then over time they were just like, well, I guess we don't have a choice.
That show would have been better had they just written Batman villains as themselves with small glimmers of who they were meant to be. Like you could have
That's
done.
what they did with the Riddler for a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
And they should have kept that, like just continue to like pick away at like his psyche and how he gets just messed up over time.
You're talking
and
about Gotham or the
I'm
Batman?
talking about Dawson's other role as Riddler.
as
In Gotham, yes.
in Gotham.
I agree. Like, if they would have just simply teased things instead of going full out on like having Solomon Grundy,
They even
and
had fucking Joker. They had like double Joker and
Yeah, that
it
was
so
weird.
stupid.
Skins. Like the actor did a great job with what he was given, but it was just a weird way to try to use that and not even be able to call him Joker. Like, I don't know. And then of course the notorious suit reveal at the end of the show was just awful. The most
that
atrocious
was
thing.
that was not good.
That's pretty much it.
It was
Yeah.
pretty much that.
Honestly, very,
I
very
remember when they
accurate.
showed it, I was like, "Oh God, why did they do that?" Like, I mean, if like at the very least,
Pig was good, yeah.
instead of showing like the way they showed it, it should have just been like from behind the cowl. You know what I mean? Something where you don't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that costume sucks.
I mean, they could have like leaned into the Court of Owls more, because that's a thing before, before Bruce does anything anyway.
Yeah, but still,
did Jim Gordon ever get a mustache in that show?
In a
Gotham?
flash forward sequence, like a dream sequence.
See, what's the fuck is that actor's name?
I thought he was good.
Benjamin McKenzie. He could have, yeah. If he would have had a mustache in like the last season, that would have been great.
And
I used to watch
Harvey
him in the
Bullock was
OC.
good.
Yeah.
And then they had him marrying the doctor lady.
I didn't like that.
Leslie Tompkins.
Yeah, they had him marry Leslie Tompkins.
She's in Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miranda
Yeah.
Bachman. In fact, those actors are married in real life.
Yes, yes, they are.
Yeah. So they probably wanted to negotiate that playing out on screen or something. It's like whatever.
But it's an Elseworld, guys. Don't take it too
It
seriously.
didn't matter. There it is. I mean, I can't imagine they put this on. They were like, yeah, it's good. That's good.
Can we put a big bat over the cape?
I know. Make sure that we sew that seam together a little tighter.
There are cosplayers that put together significantly better costumes than this.
I mean, look at this. I mean, there's that one, and then here's like the whole body shot.
Oh god,
it's kind of moving, but it's like I don't. And look at the stomach. It's like, oh, we're gonna make these little triangles that form an X.
It's not exactly a six pack. It's more like a pizza pack.
If you punch him right at the core of that X,
in the middle,
that's his sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot.
That's where he has the melted down gun that killed his parents, right there in that X.
Deadshot's like, really?
It's like,
sure.
Hey, let's raise the bat logo kind of above the collar because why not?
Yeah.
Which like in some designs it could potentially work, but in that specific one, no. It just nope.
This is what they should have done. Oh shit, I forgot.
They should have. Well, what they did is they did it because they
had
wanted to hide
Batman
where
at
the
all.
cape was.
They should have done that. They should have just had that, a shot like that, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
And then the back of that cowl sucks. Look at the divots on the sides.
Is this from the show? I don't even know if it is, but like I just would have had.
Why would you even bring that picture?
I know, God. But I would have had just a behind Batman shot, and then that's it.
Yes,
because it's like everything else looked atrocious.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And somebody tried to redesign it too. Where was it? I just saw it. I was like, what?
Right there. Go to the left, all the way left.
This one?
Yeah.
That looks terrible.
Look, that's an actual shot from The Dark Knight Rises in the daytime.
No, it's not.
Let's have Batman in the daytime, guys.
No, yeah, Batman in daytime usually doesn't go very well.
No.
I just saw it on here. Somebody's like a redesign of Gotham's Batsuit. I was like, oh boy. Oh, right here. This is redesigned to look better, I guess, but
not much.
Not much. I think all they did was they just redefined it.
The stomach.
These are like
he's got just regular shoes.
They're moon boots.
Yeah, moon boots.
Oh gosh, this was a terrible. They only
terrible.
The cowl.
They even redid the cowl. They're like, oh, that other one's terrible.
Well, the redesigned cowl is probably the best part about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny that they. I mean, I guess at one point you have to ask yourself, when you go out, you design the suit, you put him in the suit, and you're like, okay, well, this is what we got. Let's just roll with it. We'll put you in shadows. No one's gonna care, and everyone ripped it.
Yeah, everyone cared.
The show would have. I mean, I granted that they were not allowed to use Batman in the show, but the show would have been so much better if it just had Batman in it, not even as the main character, but as like a reoccurring character that Jim Gordon, interacts with. It would have been really cool.
Yeah, and established an early on relationship and how that came to be. Like that would have been really interesting.
I mean, even the Batman we got in Titans was better than what we got in Gotham.
Somehow.
And that was rough.
Alfred Batman?
Oh no. I was like, God, he's so old.
But so old.
But like that what was it? Was it like a dream sequence or whatever when Robin went into the Batcave and they killed Batman? And that whole scene was pretty cool though. I was like, hey, you know what? This isn't the greatest, but like I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the actor who played Batman, he's a good actor. I just thought he was way too old for that role.
The actor?
The actor?
The actor. Oh man. Yeah, no, that whole show just I remember loving the first season, and then it just went downhill from there. Being like, what are they doing? But
And then they were like, "Hey, anytime you feel like you need to fill in put in an F-bomb, just do it."
yeah, anytime. But speaking of Batman, there was some news this week about Glenn Powell throwing his hat into the ring to play Batman. Of course,
Really?
we all know
How
him
was
from
he
Top Gun
doing
Maverick, as well as the rom-com thing he was in with Sydney Sweeney, whatever.
Well, he's getting fan cast for everything. Everyone's like, "Oh, he could be Hal
Green
Jordan."
Lantern, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main one I've seen for him.
Booster Gold.
And
Booster Gold. That's another one.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that for sure.
Like, would you play Batman? No, I would turn that role down. Thank you.
That's not how no, that's not how it went.
They're like, "What about Booster Gold?" Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
do that.
care. I don't give a fuck what was said.
But
And-
Phil,
What
gives a
what
shit?
was said? What was said?
So he was asked, like, if he would approach, if he were to be in a superhero role or whatever. I think he outright denied whether or not. I think he said he would not join the MCU. He's got no interest in that. He already turned down Jurassic Park. He said he doesn't really feel compelled to do superhero movies, but I guess he has like a wild take for Batman that would be more in line with Michael Keaton's take as opposed to something like what Matt Reeves is doing. And I'm like, you know what? After like, you know, the fan cast of Jake Gyllenhaal and Winston Duke and Alan Richardson, I would be curious to see what Glenn Powell could do with Batman. I don't know.
He honestly seems like he'd be more in
might-
line with the Val Kilmer Batman, honestly.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer,
Has
Michael
that Val
Keaton,
Kilmer
same fucking thing.
vibe to him. Yeah, he kind of has that vibe to him a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Alan Richardson would be perfect for Batman.
Yes. His physique just screams Batman. As an actor, like I've seen limited of him, and like what I've seen, I've liked. But I mean, dude can make an intimidating and believable Batman.
I watched that opening scene to what's the movie called? Phil, the one you saw, Ungentlemanly
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's Batman right there, dude. That guy's he was so jacked. He was like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
but he's
like,
already
dude,
been like what 2 or 3 different DC characters already.
he was Hawk
Mhm.
And
and
Aquaman, I think.
He was Aquaman. You're
oh
right.
yeah, but that was a long time ago. That was before we anyone knew any better.
Yeah, I don't see him
Honestly.
as Batman.
That was superhero infancy.
I don't see him as Batman personally.
I don't think he will be. I think
I don't see you as Batman. I'm just kidding.
Andre's
Feels like I think you're wrong there.
I think you're wrong.
See, that
Yeah,
was
there
him.
he is.
I like that Hawk suit quite a bit.
Yeah,
They
I
did.
mean, dude, they had some good shit in the fucking Teen Titans show for a minute, or Titans, or whatever the fuck it was
Titans
called.
Titans.
Titans. You know, for like, it had good things in it. It didn't work out as, you know, just
Yeah.
overall.
They did him dirty with how his character ended up.
That was terrible. I was like,
Awful.
oh, okay. I was like, I guess that's the end of that guy. I was like, what the hell?
All right. Cool. Well,
How about Josh Hartnett?
Josh
He was
Hart.
almost Batman once.
He was. I don't think he would do it though. I mean, I feel like
no.
if you did Josh Hartnett, that's just another version of Robert Pattinson. You know what I mean? In terms of like size, physique, I think you're kind of rehashing that. That's
Did
why
you see him in Oppenheimer? He was fucking huge in Oppenheimer.
I
Yeah.
don't remember him being huge, but I remember him being in Oppenheimer, and
He
he
was
good.
pretty fucking stacked in Oppenheimer. Like he was pretty bulky.
But I mean, he could definitely play the role. I think Alan Richardson for me at least, it embodies the role of Batman.
Physically, anyway, for sure. Yeah. No, I can agree with that. I guess kind of continuing on with some Batman stuff. Phil had mentioned, and I'd seen posts about this, that they're making a new installment into the Long Halloween story
Mhm.
in Batman comics. Yeah,
Well,
they had done, of course, the Long Halloween, then
Well, it goes Haunted Night, Long Halloween, Dark Victory.
right, and they also
all Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
they did a special a couple years ago where they had another little chapter in the story.
Long Halloween special. Yeah, that was the
Halloween
last
special.
thing I think Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did together in that universe. I think.
Yeah, I have that issue, but yes, they're gonna do a new installment with Jeff Loeb returning, but of course Tim Sale, the artist, passed away 2 years ago now. I think.
I think 2020. Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, oh, geez,
2022.
yeah. And so
Might have been last year.
yeah, I think it might have been 2 years ago because it was right before I met Mark Waid, and I think that was 2 years ago. But yeah, so like they're bringing a new artist to do it. I don't know which artist they're bringing in.
June 16th,
But-
2022 is when he passed away.
But to me, it's like, Phil, you had mentioned in the chat that like there might be some conflicted feelings amongst fans of them doing a new installment without Tim Sale doing the artwork, because Long Halloween and Tim Sale, it goes hand in hand.
Right.
I mean, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did so many great things together. So it's like one of those things where I'm not like up in arms that, oh, you're not doing it with Tim. You don't have Tim Sale there, so you can't do any more stories. Like Jeff Loeb's still alive. He obviously has more story to tell. So it's like, I'm not like mad about it, but it's like, I just want to see what the art looks like. If it's going to be a book that like I have any interest in getting, I need to see what the art style looks like.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, because I think Jeff Loeb said there's going to be like a revolving door of certain artists that are going to work on each book, something to that effect. I don't know. Let me pull up the article real quick.
Oh, so it's like a more of a multiple artists collaborating together to bring the story together rather than just one.
Yeah,
one
I think so.
Place.
It might be 2 or 3 artists consistently through the whole thing. Let me see here. Let's see. I hate IGN, but they have they have all the info. Okay, looks like DC.
Oh, the weird Arby's guy.
Arby's guy.
The guy's like, I don't know. Yeah, chasm opened up in the middle of the void. And
DC announced the Long Halloween, the last Halloween at MCM London convention today. 10-issue series will again be written by Loeb. Unfortunately, due to Sale's death in 2022, the series will not feature work from him beyond the cover art to issue 1. Instead, the last Halloween will be illustrated by a rotating team of artists working in tribute to Sale. Those artists include Eduardo Riso, who did Flashpoint, Batman, Might of Vengeance, Klaus Janson, Dark Knight Returns, and Mark Chiarello from Batman Black and White.
I mean, obviously, Klaus Janson's a legend. I'd love to see what he does with it.
Yeah.
I love the fact they have some Tim Sale art for issue number 1. That's really great. Obviously, it's not like specifically intended to be drawn for that, but they're probably going to repurpose something that he had done before he died.
It sounds like what Jeff Loeb is quoted here saying, Batman The Long Halloween, the last Halloween is Tim Sale's parting gift to me. Tim and I had already decided to tell this last chapter following Batman The Long Halloween special, which serves as a prologue to this 10-part action-packed mystery. Tim's unfortunate passing put our plans for this series on hold. About a year later, after speaking with Mark Chiarello, Richard Starkings, my partner on the previous Long Halloween titles, we decided the time was right to move forward as a tribute to Tim, who continues to be with us in spirit. The story concludes the war between the freaks and crime families forever as Batman, Robin, and DC's most infamous Batman villains face off against Holiday, and secrets dating back to Batman The Long Halloween special will be revealed.
So it said that they would try to do it in, like somewhat in the style of Tim Sale, like they're going to try to like keep it similar. Is that kind of what they said in that article?
I want to say yes, but considering Klaus Janson has a very specific kind of style to himself,
right?
I can't really see him veering too far off from that. As for the other two, I'd have to look and see what else they've worked on.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, Klaus Janson's very distinct, very recognizable type of style. Okay. So, I mean, they have some guys that have, done a lot of good work, especially Klaus Janson. I mean, you can't really argue with his resume.
No, not at all.
At all. So, I mean, I'd be intrigued to see. I'll have to see what they come up with. The other two artists specifically. The ones with Klaus Janson involved, like, that's ones where, like, that's really hard for me to pass up on just because Klaus Janson's amazing. Yeah, okay.
I think for me, it's not even so much as, like, Tim Sale's absence. I mean, obviously, Tim Sale's absence is going to be felt on that book because obviously it's going to be really hard not to read that story and then not think like, oh, well, what if Tim Sale did this book? That I think is going to be a reoccurring thing. I also wonder how many people are going to be invested in this in a wake of Jeff Loeb's comments regarding Asian people on Daredevil and how much of that is still a sticking point. Because I don't think he's come out and said anything regarding that, but, it's still kind of in the air and making the rounds. So,
well, the backup. What? I mean, obviously, you don't have to repeat the comments.
Okay,
but like,
Peter Shinkota, who played Nobu on Daredevil. Peter Shinkota, who played Nobu on Daredevil, said that an entire storyline for Gao and Nobu was completely axed in the Daredevil show because Jeff Loeb said, and I quote, "Nobody cares about Asian people." Yeah.
Nobody cares about Asian people. I mean, come on. I mean, people say the stupidest shit these days. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, well, that's probably why he's not at Marvel Television right now, working with Kevin Feige and everyone else on Daredevil Born Again. That's my guess.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, I mean,
but like I see stuff like that, and I haven't seen any kind of like rebuttal or any kind of apology or anything like that from Jeff Loeb. I'm probably going to read the story. Will I get it on DC Universe Infinite or will I wait for a trade? That's more than likely. I don't really collect single issue books these days.
Yeah, I haven't been able to. I usually prefer to do, but I just haven't been able to. But I honestly really wonder what I wonder what the context of that whole situation was. Like, obviously we know like the basic words, what was said in that conversation, but like I want to know, like, was it him saying it seriously? Like,
basically implicating that no one really cared about Asian people on television or in films, and then Shang-Chi comes out, Crazy Rich Asians happens. It was a really bad comment that came at a really bad time because he was disproven almost instantly. I don't think it was a joke.
Probably not. But even if like it's still bad. Yeah, even if it's still poorly timed, and obviously you never want to say that anyway.
100%. You don't, and on top of that, when you're adapting fucking Frank Miller's work and it's so Asian influenced too, big no. Like, what the fuck are you thinking, my guy? Yeah. I don't know. It that to me is like when I hear something like that, I was like, damn, that's pretty unfortunate if he really feels that way. I mean, I would certainly hope he doesn't feel the same way now, because this is, those comments were made circa 2015, 16, 17, when they were still doing the Daredevil and the Defender stuff on Netflix years ago. But even still, it's like, ooh, that ain't a good look.
Like, old enough to know better, obviously.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
But yeah, I had never even heard of that. Jeez.
Yeah, dude, there's a whole video of Peter Shinkota fucking just spilling the beans on it all. It was kind of heartbreaking. I love Jeff Loeb. Art, work. I like him as a Batman writer. I think he's a pretty solid writer, all things considered. But hearing that,
some Marvel stuff he did, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, like pretty much anything he's touched, I've enjoyed. But man,
like hearing that, it was just like, fuck, dude, that's unfortunate.
It's one of those things where you have to really separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but I also think that, like, this is not me condoning his words in any way, shape, or form. I don't see a pattern of repeated behavior, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Like, I would need more of that for me to be like, okay, I no longer support anything this cat does. Like, I refuse to read Joss Whedon's Uncanny X-Men. I have no fucking desire to read that story. I haven't bought a Jeff Johns comic since Three Jokers.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a repetitive pattern of behavior, that's when I kind of go, okay, no more. I cannot support or condone anything from this creative. Just not happening whatsoever. Like fucking Mark Millar, I will not read anything by that fucking idiot. Like the shit he said about like Wonder Woman, the things he said about like, the joke he even made. He was like, the people who shot Harambe fucking got put in prison or whatever, but the people who made Batman vs Superman walk free. It's like, dude, fuck the fuck off. Making dumbass comments like that, I can't. Nope. Yeah, like I even saw today that interview about Matthew Vaughn gets regurgitated again. Oh, I want to do Red Son Superman with Henry Cavill, and it's like, really? You sat there and fucking talked all this shit about Man of Steel, but you want to make a Superman movie where Superman's a literal fucking dictator? Okay, dude, tell me you're out of touch without actually saying it.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, with a lot of creators and directors or writers and stuff, like that's why there's a lot of things in entertainment for me that have kind of become just like jaded, just because you can find all sorts of things that these people say or do that's just like, dude.
Oh
really?
yeah.
Like,
well, and in the meantime, Bo DeMaio posts this saying, "Sorry, Scorsese, this is cinema. Everything the aspirational shot design and music and flight choreography, Clark going from sauntering with a heavy burden to soaring and smiling, sell the hope and power of an outsider discovering he's too big for his adopted home."
I loved that.
It was great. I was like, yeah.
I am not eager to look at that comment section because I'm sure it's all sorts of pretty.
I'm sure.
It's a lot of supporters like, yeah. I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah, because there'll be people who are like, oh, what are you talking about? But it's like, I mean, yeah, he speaks truth. That's a fantastic scene. And, he's a guy that did a great job with X-Men 97, doing the best thing Marvel has done in years, in my opinion.
Oh, by far.
Long shot.
By far. Yeah. I mean, I will say it's a lot of the things they did are easier to do in animation, but it was the risks they took to accomplish those, I thought was just commendable. And I thought that they create a much more compelling story each and every episode than a lot of these live action shows have done on a weekly basis. I mean, some of these shows, you finish the episode and you're like, well, that's okay. I guess that's it. Move on to the next
continuation of a nearly 30-year-old animated show was more compelling than a live action show about Secret Wars.
Well,
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Sorry.
Secret War.
So,
but at the same time, though, it's like, one show that I thought every episode it got better and better, and same thing, kind of like with X-Men, where every episode found a different way to engage you and keep you, into the story was Fallout. I thought Fallout was excellent. I thought every episode of that show it got better
I just finished
and better.
That, actually, I liked it overall. I just didn't like the Brotherhood. It felt
why?
They just felt like they weren't even needed. Like
they're in
everything
the game.
else, huh?
They're in the game.
I've never played the game, so I can only base off what I saw on the show.
Yeah,
and I watched the show, and I thought the show was interesting, and I really, I liked it. But the knights or whatever that they are, it didn't really hit for me. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's cool, but they really didn't have that much of an impact on anything. Like they wanted the head for what reason? Did they even know what the fuck was in it? It didn't. I didn't like them. And like if you just showed me the same show with the ghoul, whatever his name is, I liked his backstory. What was going on. What else was weird to me, which I don't know since again I don't play the game. It seems like every fucking actor outside of like the kids that were in the vault, they all lived for 200 years for some reason. Like what the fuck? Like how'd that happen?
Well, I know that's the thing with like the ghouls, and that's why he has to keep taking that medication so that he doesn't turn into.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like the girl's father, and then the Moldaver. She lived for 200 years apparently.
Cryostasis.
Because they're all from.
Yeah, that's all. It was cryostasis.
Oh, fuck. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, these motherfuckers have been around the whole time. I remember. Yeah, they were in the.
They are people of Numenor. They can. Blessed with long life. Yeah, blessed with long life. It was a cryo chamber.
It was a good show overall.
So they were released periodically based on the needs of their whole objective.
And I think that they stole the design from the fucking Dark Troopers because they look like fucking.
But that was in the game years ago.
But Dark Troopers have been around since the 80s. It was Fallout in the 80s.
Yeah,
the helmet I agree was very similar.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
It's huge, whatever. But again, it was a cool concept, like the whole Squire and all that. But they didn't really go into like lore or anything like that. Like I could give a fuck about these people. Like who cares?
Right? It's like
Knights of the fuck off.
It's like if you name them the Brotherhood of Steel, I'd like to know where that came from. Kind of like when you name him the Nephilim, I want to know a little bit more about why you name him that for.
Yes, sir. Thank you. No, you will. You will.
and to his credit, Ryan's working on his own comic called The Nephilim that he's been developing for over a year now, I want to say.
Nice shout out to the Book of
for
Enoch.
Years, actually, for almost 10 years.
Nice. Yeah, nice shout out to the Book of Enoch. Nice.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the Book of Genesis.
Yeah, I think it is too. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Enoch, but okay.
The best thing that Marvel's
heavily involved in that too.
Outside of X-Men 97 is probably Loki, and then before that is probably Spider-Man No Way Home. But yeah, they haven't. Marvel hasn't exactly caught the world on fire in a long while. Not. I mean, like
Moon Knight was good, but at the same time, when it was over, you didn't feel like, oh, I can't believe it's over. It was just kind of like, well, that was cool.
Chances are, if you're a Sam Raimi fan, you probably like Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was cool.
It was okay, but it's very forgettable. But in regards to like what you just said about Moon Knight, didn't they just
shitty takes today? Holy shit!
I know you just like say this shit.
I can't tell you anything about the fucking Multiverse of Madness other than
shit. Just so many garbage takes.
You're like,
wow.
No, I forgot about
Iron Man in it. Was that the one? I don't know.
What?
Multiverse of Madness.
No, Spider-Man was in No Way Home.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, because no, Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, you know what?
Funny thing is, I remember more of that movie than I do Multiverse of Madness.
Close up shop. I'm out of here.
Oh man.
I got a mess behind me. Okay, I got a big mess back here. I'll keep cleaning that up.
That movie.
Jarvis, pick it up.
Tell me you didn't watch the movie without actually fucking saying it. Jesus.
Were you asleep during the movie?
But going back to the hype of Marvel,
he had a doppelganger or some shit at the beginning, and then it trailed off. There was some girl that he was with that she was supposed to be really powerful, but who cares? Scarlet Witch was there. Remember, she was. Okay,
I
don't remember too much.
It's not even worth trying to recollect.
Hey, look, I tried.
Speaking to Dawson's point about the Marvel hype, let's hope to God Deadpool and Wolverine, which it probably is going to build that hype back up. I checked my Thursday showing, the first day Thursday showing of Deadpool and Wolverine at 7 p.m. It was fucking sold out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I checked my showing here in the small town I live in.
Yeah.
There was 5 tickets sold. No, there was 5 tickets. Only because I live in Ukiah, where it's a small community, and in Sacramento. Oh God, yeah. Especially if you're trying to go downtown to watch it or a nice theater, it's gonna pack.
Yeah, my usual theater that I go to, the Greenback Theater, Andre, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the Green fucking 7 o'clock showing for Thursday, sold the fuck out.
I
have not looked at Regal 16 at Thomas or anywhere or the Arden they have the one at the AMC at Arden. I haven't checked out anywhere else. I'm kind of curious to see what the IMAX showings are for that. I'm actually I'll probably check that out later today.
They probably have the D-Box showings too. I know they had a D-Box theater in Roseville that I went to, and there's one.
So there's 2 in Roseville. Technically, depending on where you're at, because on one side of there's Rockland and Roseville, because there's the Blue Oaks and Rockland, and then on the other side of the of the freeway is fucking the Galleria, which has a UA in it, and it's pick your poison at that point.
I think Venom 3 will bring back the Marvel hype.
Venom 3 is not tied to the MCU.
It's not. It's not.
But
it was for a split second, and then it wasn't.
And then what I was going to say is that the last time I feel like there was genuine Marvel hype was in the first 4 episodes of WandaVision.
Yeah.
That's when that peak Marvel hype was still there, and that.
But at the same time, that was at the heart of COVID, so everybody was so thirsty for content.
That's what I was gonna say. No Way Home was probably
No Way Home. Yeah, but when WandaVision came out, that was the first any kind of series that Marvel content other than something in the theater. So it was oh my God, yes, and then it turned sideways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's funny because their monetary success really kind of ended with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That was the last Marvel movie they did that made big money at the box office, not counting Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that movie made its money for completely different reasons.
Yeah. We got Venom saying Thursday showing at my local Regal 9 p.m. got completely sold out.
See?
What's up, Rhea? What is up?
What's
up? Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Actually saw Rhea a couple weeks ago on the vodka stream. So it's good to see her. Got
to
see her too as well.
She was.
But yeah, I haven't checked any listings for the areas around me for Deadpool. I'd imagine them not as.
So are you going to be in your new house by the time Deadpool and Wolverine comes out?
No, I'm not going to be in my new house till August.
Okay.
So we're
early August or late August?
About mid-August.
Okay. So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably catch Deadpool that weekend, but opening day, I don't know, man. Good luck.
Yeah, no, because I have a convention the first weekend of August here in Virginia, so we're staying till right after that. Plus, we're waiting till after everybody else moves into that college town that we're moving to. So we'll try to avoid the new move-in traffic and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll trying to figure out seeing that in the theater is gonna be tough. We're actually going to the theater tomorrow to watch the Haikyuu anime movie. My wife's a big fan of that show. It's a volleyball anime.
Oh.
My wife played volleyball and she loves the show.
Okay.
So
I think I've heard of that, but I had to do a double take.
It's good.
That sounds familiar, but it's
it's pretty popular. I have gotten more into volleyball since I met my wife, but it's a very fun anime. Really cool story. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing.
Dope.
Yeah.
What else did you see at the theater? Tell me, what else have you seen in the theater?
I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It was the first time I've been in a theater in a while, Actually,
is this the one time where I'm the only odd man out on this? Because Andre, you watched it, right?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Ryan, did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Oh, wow.
Saw it.
So, what were you guys' thoughts on the movie? Just excuse Phil and I.
Yeah, just let you leave. So first off, my wife and I recently binged the. Oh my gosh, this is putting themselves out. But my wife and I, we had recently binged through the recent trilogy with Caesar, just because I was in the mood to watch him, and I saw a lot of clips about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, peak trilogy, amazing trilogy, super good films. And I also watched through the first Planet of the Apes from 1968. I hadn't watched it in a while. I still need to make my way through those sequels from the 70s. But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes does a really great job of continuing where the story left off, but of course catapulting forward into the future quite a ways, and makes it to where it justifies its existence. It shows that there's more to be told about this specific world, and the ending of it kind of opens it up to a whole lot of different possibilities, whether it be revisiting the concept of the original movie, or whether it be exploring some less explored things of those sequels, or whether it be because, like, for instance, in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, it showed little hints of like the astronauts lost in space and stuff like that. There's a possibility of that happening. There's also like a lot of other social and political intrigue between the apes and humans that's explored there. Noah, the main character, is really interesting. He's really you can kind of relate to him a lot. He's just a very a character who just wants to do the right thing. I mean, obviously, you miss the performance of Andy Serkis. You can't replace Andy Serkis no matter how hard you try.
Well, Ryan was saying that he looks just like Caesar.
Very similar. I think he's the same species of ape as Caesar is.
I think they just use the same CG model. I think they're just it's
like, just
very
give
similar,
him a birthmark on the face.
Let's
move on.
I think I remember someone saying that Noah might have been a descendant of Caesar.
So a lot of that comes from that they're very similar looking ape, but also Caesar had a birthmark on his right shoulder, and Noah has a mark there, but that's not a birthmark. He actually gets it in the movie from a battle. Okay. So in my opinion,
that's the same CG model, but he gets his out of
from in my opinion, I think it's just simply a hint, or a callback to Caesar.
Probably.
I mean, he may be a descendant, like loosely. There's also people theorizing that the sort of villain of this movie, Proximus Caesar, is a descendant of Koba, because they're both bonobo apes.
Right.
And I could see merit to that too, but also it could just be another bonobo ape.
Yeah, I would love that versus everybody's fucking related to everybody. It's it's a small Planet of the Apes after all.
I love that there was no attempt to try to make that connection. It was just, these are apes that exist. They're a similar species. Just let them be who these characters are. And what was interesting about this is that, the other Planet of the Apes movies, there's the typical human that's friends with the apes, right?
Right.
And it's the good example of humans. You don't really have that specifically with this movie.
Really?
Yeah. Without giving it away, there's no stereotypical, oh, this is one of the good humans. It's kind of murky.
Yeah. Right.
One thing I've heard is there's very there's trust issues between the apes and the humans in this movie, and
it's understandable.
Yeah.
It's not
the one human you think is good actually is not good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not good.
Yeah. There's definitely reason for trust issues.
So as you're watching it, the main
still
human
even
character,
after that, not good.
As you're watching it, you're like, oh, you suck. Why would you do that? They're doing stuff
what a douche, right?
Is it the girl?
I can't say.
Oh, you can't.
We're not gonna say it, but it's definitely more murky than previous movies as far as the human ally is concerned. Venom here in the comments says Raka was cool. Raka is the orangutan character in this who kind of
but
fills the place of Maurice.
Early.
I agree.
Too
early? What do you mean?
Oh, Dawson knows what I mean. Does anybody care about being spoiled at this point?
I've listened to so many reviews and I've heard so many people talk about it. I know what goes on in this movie. I'm not
okay. So yeah, the orangutan, he dies too quick. He dies too early.
I agree.
At the end of the movie, there's a post-credits bit where you hear the orangutan noise, so he is not dead.
He should be because they can't swim.
He's not dead.
So he learned how to swim.
I didn't hear that orangutan noise. That's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a little bit at the end that hints at the fact that Rocco's not dead. So
Ape not kill ape.
Okay.
What were you saying about that? That was a saying that Caesar would say, and then you said that they kind of like extrapolated upon that.
They kind of twisted his paradigm a little bit, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna sort of, just kind of like Dawson was saying, kind of make things a little bit murky in that he omitted some things from Caesar's teaching, which Rocco was trying to teach to Noah, like, yo, hey, this is actually what what's Caesar taught. And that's not what Proximus was projecting to the apes that worked for him and with him.
It's very similar to the idea of like religious traditions. It's very much a parallel to that, how some things get changed and distorted over time, over centuries, and how some people cling on to certain concepts and dismiss others. Yep. It's very much a commentary on that to an extent.
A little bit, yeah.
Treating Caesar as sort of a Moses character, obviously. And then over time, they're like, oh, well, we say these same things, but we kind of do things that he wouldn't do, which I think is interesting. And that's one of the big draws of this franchise to me, is that there's a lot of interesting commentary that's not like in your face, but it's thought provoking.
Yeah.
They continued that element with this. And I liked, what's interesting is that Proximus Caesar is shown as like a villain, but he's a villain that like you actually understand quite a bit.
He's not like a villain, right?
Right.
And that like you can understand. He just wanted to get into a vault. That's it. That was his whole thing. He wanted to get into a vault.
Yeah. And he wanted to have access to tools and stuff for his people. Like,
did he rule with, respect? No. He punished monkey or gorillas or chimpanzees or whatever, because there was that one. He punished them if they didn't, do their job or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
what was the vault?
The vault had
like Fallout
tanks, weapons,
pretty much. Armory.
Yeah, it was where the wealthy would stay, and there was even bunkers for people to learn.
It was bunkers for people, like, because they had like drawings from kids and all that kind of stuff that had ABCs and whatnot. So I mean, it was a very interesting, it was overall, I liked the movie. It was interesting. The only other thing about the whole Proximus thing that I didn't like was the final boss fight, and I thought that,
I can see that.
It was very underwhelming. And I understood it, but I was like, that's kind of cheap. So I didn't like that the birds killed Proximus. I thought that was kind of cheap.
And it's like they had set that up a little bit, but it wasn't enough to where it's like, oh wow, like it's not like
it wasn't a big payoff, and it made Noah look a little bit less not intimidating, but a little less heroic. And but I mean, it would have been a little bit better if, like, the apes had been like, hey, you beat him up enough, fuck that, leave him alone. We're gonna protect him now or whatever. And then he calls the birds or some shit like that. But just the way that all transpired, it didn't flow naturally.
That's the only slightly negative thing I'd probably say about this movie in general. Like that underwhelming thing, like it doesn't drag it down the rest. Like it's still a good movie, but that's definitely an underwhelming aspect to it for sure. I still think, I mean, the motion capture and VFX for this were still great and incredible. I'm a big sucker for whenever there is post-apocalyptic destruction and decay. Like, for instance, the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise, like that movie, I love the visuals of that movie. There's a lot of that familiar stuff to that with this movie, where you go through these old cities that are just overgrown and rotting and decaying.
Oblivion looked beautiful.
Amazing visuals.
I remember when I saw it, I was like, God, this movie looks amazing. Story, it was all right.
Yeah, story's
like
okay,
the whole thing about like, oh yeah, this alien craft showed up and Tom Cruise and the girl just happened to be in space at the time. They're like, hey, can you go check that out? It was just the way that story kind of transpired. I was like, that's kind of weird. So then a whole army of Tom Cruise and the girl came attacking Earth. It was like, what?
Yeah. But back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, one thing that was interesting to me is that obviously as the movies have gone on with this newer saga of ape films, is that with each movie, the apes are talking more and more. And this one, they're pretty much on the cusp of just basically being human. And it was interesting because it allowed for more character development and personality than some previous installments. And
I think that they didn't go far enough with the English speaking or with, just basic. I like that they still kept sign language. That's awesome.
But that was definitely limited.
Mm-hmm. And so it says, okay, you know what, they're sort of, they're multilinguists in a way, but I still think that, they, ape not kill ape is not too far from where these guys were as far as like their vernacular. And they should have. They were generations beyond, so they should have. They should have. Just
they talk slightly smoother than the apes previously.
Yeah.
Which there was still progression, but not as much as maybe you would expect.
Right.
Well, how many years ahead is it from the?
It says several generations.
Yeah,
so
several
a couple hundred
generations.
years.
About 300 years from the
Yeah.
from War of the Planet of the Apes, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
and you figure language and all that. It takes a long time.
They should have been already
Thousands.
having slang words, all kinds of
So,
shit.
yo, ape, no whack ape.
Whack.
Yeah, you're like, oh
Gosh.
boy.
they're like,
We're holding bananas,
Yeah.
like hella cliche. Like,
they're all
oh,
doing the.
boy.
They're all like, just egging each other on.
But
But
if
like
I were,
Donkey Kong, you're like, oh man.
but I'd say if I were to rank these 4 recent movies for this franchise, I'd put Dawn of the Planet of the Apes at the very top because that's the
That
best
was a good
one.
movie.
That's
I like
that's
that one.
hands down the best
It's
one.
the best one.
Yeah, I almost kind of put. It's honestly almost a 3-way tie between the rest, honestly, because they're all just really dang good. I do like Rise a lot just because there's a lot of good callbacks to the original. War, I love Bad Ape in War of the Planet of the Apes. Bad Ape is hilarious. I freaking love that
I need to
character.
watch that one again. I didn't see the whole thing.
I need to see Kingdom, but if you ask me to rank the trilogy as is, Dawn, Rise, War. That's it.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
Dawn, Rise, War.
And the same, and this one, the Kingdom would be after War. It's good.
and it
War's
like
a little
warrants a
bit
place
slower.
among them, but yeah.
War's
Yeah,
a little
I don't
bit
know.
slower, but this one's interesting on its own. But I don't think as a standalone film it would outrank War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
not
agree with
sure.
that.
I haven't seen it yet.
But still a
The
dang good movie.
like Woody Harrelson's character and like his special forces team, how they just got like totally fucked up by the apes. I was like, dude, come on, man. Like, and that's the thing too, is that like in this world, like the apes are just like, oh, humans, get out of the way. You know what I mean? I'm just like, dude, these guys have assault rifles. Like that would do damage to a gorilla. I don't know.
Yeah. I still really like War. I mean, there hasn't been a bad new Planet of the Apes movie outside of Tim Burton.
No, and that's the thing is that I haven't seen one that's bad. Where even if it's not the greatest, you're like, that was a cool movie.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, just for kicks and giggles, I even decided to rewatch the Tim
Shits
Burton
and giggles.
one.
You don't say
Kicks and giggles.
That's
Who says that?
It's a very common phrase.
It's shits and giggles.
I know that's the other form of it, but kicks and giggles is the other one
Kicks.
too.
What the fudge are you talking about?
It's a way I've heard about it my whole life too. So I've heard multiple different versions of it. So
Dag nabbit.
Dang
What was
nabbit,
it?
yeah.
Remember the cereal kicks?
Dingleberry?
Remember that? The cereal kicks, KIX.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
kid
Yes,
tested, mother
yes.
approved.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're proof.
I used to eat those. They were
They
good.
were pretty good. I don't think they make them anymore though.
I don't think they make them.
I still love this. Space balls. There goes the planet.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I still need to
what are
go
those
through-
things crawling out of her nose?
You know what's funny is I actually watched Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes not too long ago with Mark Wahlberg in it.
The only thing
Yep.
that's good about that is Rick Baker.
Sure. Anyway,
You
Tim
don't know who
Roth.
Rick Baker is? He's fucking. he's-
no, I
he's
just don't care about what you think about the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, same.
Anyway, it was just very. It was jarring because I remember seeing it as a kid with my uncle and my dad and a couple of my cousins, and revisiting it as an adult. I was like, there are worse movies.
There are worse.
There are worse movies. To me, like I put that movie, like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes and Peter Jackson's King Kong, in that same category of these are two directors stepping out of their comfort zone, trying to do something very, very different. And in some ways it kind of works, but ultimately it does not. But that still doesn't mean they're fucking terrible.
I don't know if I can compare that. I love Peter Jackson's King Kong. I love that
It's a
movie.
good
Yeah,
movie.
that was a good
That's fair.
movie. I like
Yeah,
it.
I don't see why
Fair.
anybody would have a problem with
I'm not saying I have a problem with it at all.
that.
No, but like that one, I rewatched it and it's just like, man, the makeup for that is amazing. Tim Roth
Yes.
is amazing in that. But man, the story is so dumb.
Story is very dumb.
Although-
And the gorilla, Michael Clark Duncan, is great.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
The other one I didn't like, the one that was the good gorilla or whatever, I was like,
yeah. Well, it's like they tried to have callbacks.
What
to
up, Dwayne?
They tried to have
Dwayne.
the original and tried to be clever, but it was underwhelming. Like I love.
I have to agree. With
those are
on
two. Not to cut you off, Dawson, but those are two completely different movies that came out like decades away from each other. But I get
vibe. I get what you're Phil saying. Yeah,
I do. But I get what Phil's saying too. I saw that movie in the theaters, and I thought it was cool.
Sure,
I was like, hey, this is cool.
It's probably my first exposure to Wahlberg. Now that I think about it. Yeah, that was probably my very first exposure.
Not a great first impression.
I mean, but when did that movie come out? Like the year 2000, 2001? I was like 8 or 9.
2001.
Hey,
yeah.
How you doing, Monkey?
I was like 9.
Hey, say hello to your mom. Say hello to your mom for me.
Yeah, I was like 9 when I saw that movie.
So you're talking, Abe? What's that about, huh?
Yeah.
That was an experience, you know.
And freaking Helena Bonham Carter as a female ape who's like got the hots for humans. Like that was,
that was
cringe. That was a choice. That was definitely a choice.
Definitely a choice.
The best one, or one of the best ones, was the orangutan. Was what the fuck is that guy's name? Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, dude, that was funny. He was funny.
On the nose.
He was funny.
I do love the fact that in that movie they got Charlton Heston to have a cameo as Tim Roth's Apes.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Although it's uncredited, which is kind of funny. But
I'm kind of with you, Dawson. I need to rewatch those other.
Well, he was kind of like Harrison
original
Ford,
8 movies.
In that he didn't really care about the franchise anymore. He was kind of done with it.
I mean, he only did the second Planet of the Apes movie, which is beneath the Planet of the Apes, because they promised that they would kill him off, just like Harrison Ford with The Force Awakens.
What is the chronology of those movies? I'm gonna look it up right now.
So it goes Planet of the Apes,
right?
The Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. I believe.
Yep, you're right. You were 100% correct.
How does the original one end? Like, does the apes die?
Credits?
Yeah.
Oh, the original like story.
Yeah.
Overarching story. So basically, how it goes is that you have the original Planet of the Apes,
not production wise,
right? But like you have where he
the
realizes
lights
he's on
come
Earth,
up.
but essentially what happens is that he realizes he's on Earth, and then you have an astronaut follow him in the second movie and try to find those astronauts, which makes no sense. But anyway, they find this.
Like, oh, you're doomed.
Yeah, they find this underground cult of mutants that worship a nuclear bomb.
Yes.
And then main character Charlton Heston blows up the planet, and then that was supposed to initially end the story. Then the third one, they actually show that the two scientists from the first movie had retrofitted and fixed that ship from the first movie, and somehow traveled back to 1972, and where Charlton Heston had
Cornelius.
Come from. Yeah, and then Cornelius and his wife, I forget her name.
Oh God.
But then they have their child, Caesar. But those two scientists are killed. Caesar ends up being raised by a circus, but he's intelligent and can speak. And then in Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, he starts an uprising, which is supposed to be a sort of comparison to the LA riots. And so he starts an uprising because apes start to become pets and start to be slaves because all the dogs and cats got sick and died in the world, apparently. That's the whole... Yeah, that's the whole story.
That's the worst part of the movie so far.
Yeah, so
a world without cats and dogs.
So they have apes as pets and they treat them pretty badly. And then Battle for the Planet of the Apes, they've started to develop their own society, and Caesar has started establishing rules. The whole ape not kill ape thing, that's where that comes from. And they had less and less money as the production for each movie went along. When the last movie came around, the battle for it was just a couple of Jeeps with American human soldiers and a school bus and a couple of apes with spears. Very underwhelming.
Yeah.
But basically the whole idea is that it sort of loops into itself because the apes had gone back in time. That's when they started things. And then Caesar starts a civilization. And then of course it'll loop back around to the first movie. So it's kind of interesting in that way. But what's funny about that too, is that for years, it never made sense how the heck the apes fixed the ship from the first movie to go back in time. But there's a comic book that crosses over Star Trek with Planet of the Apes, and Captain Kirk and Spock help them fix that ship. And that's how they go back in time to 1972 is because of Star Trek.
And then we have a major paradox.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Quite funny.
So
they're like, problem solved.
Exactly. It's like Star Trek. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can we get a crossover movie? Maybe. We'll see how it does.
Yeah,
I forgot Tim Roth was in that. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was the best part of it.
Yeah,
so dang good.
Yeah, I don't know that a crossover could happen. One's owned by Paramount, the other is now owned by Disney. So I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No.
It'd be nice. It'd be cool, but I doubt it.
But that's a fun little canonical thing that makes it make sense.
Do you know who produced that? Was it like Dark Horse? Was it Boom? Do you know who backed that?
Oh,
Top Cow?
That one probably came out in like the 80s. It's an old one. So I don't think it would have been Top Cow because I don't think they were around yet, were they?
I was just throwing out names because I don't know who could have produced it.
If it was anything, I think it was Marvel, actually, that published that.
Interesting.
Because Marvel had a lot of different licenses back then.
You know what? I think you're right. Because a critic and reviewer I listen to pretty regularly, he collects pretty much everything Planet of the Apes. So I think I remember him mentioning that there is a Marvel Comics iteration of that. So yeah, okay, I'll have to look into that.
I'm telling you though, nothing beats the Tim Burton ending where
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln is an ape.
I watched a couple of videos that explain that actually to where the movie still is not great. But first and foremost, real quick, we got a $100 super chat from Dwayne.
Woo!
Dude,
wow.
Here's a super chat clip for you.
Damn! Hell yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you.
Before
Appreciate it, man.
Finish this. So he says, I've been reading reports about Mahershala Ali leaving the Blade movie reboot, according to insiders. Writers coming and going. Has Marvel just mismanaged this whole thing? Yes. What's the deal? Doesn't even know what direction they want to go with the character. I feel like he answered it right there. Marvel just really doesn't know what they want to do. I feel like there were some reports, which I don't know the validity to them, but that they wanted to focus on side characters instead of Blade, which is dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one because, obviously there's that trilogy with fucking Wesley Snipes, that's still very much a thing, and it's abundantly clear that Marvel doesn't want to tread over stuff that has been done before. If you look at like Spider-Man, if you look at the Fantastic Four, it feels like they're approaching it from like, okay, we're not going to touch any of what has come before. We're going to do kind of our own thing. I feel like that's kind of where the biggest problem is they want to do their own thing. But then Kevin Feige, I wouldn't say blindsided, but he was just presented with this notion, like Mahershala Ali called him and said, hey, I want to be Blade. And Kevin Feige was like, oh, great. Yeah, we can do that. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, fuck, how do we do that? And it's like, you're Kevin fucking Feige, my guy. Like, you have reinvented Spider-Man. You're reinventing the Fantastic Four. Blade is really not that hard. He kills vampires. This is not hard at all. I do not understand why they've had writers come and go, and now they're on director number 2. I don't know which insiders are saying he's about ready to leave. He's stuck around for how long? It's been 5 years since that announcement. He made one vocal
5 years.
Well, it was announced in 2019.
It was
crap.
I think this has a lot to do with
2019,
with the way they've handled everything. You've seen how like a lot of these projects are getting massive reshoots. They're getting totally revamped, and I think that this show went through kind of the same treatment that a lot of the other shows were going through at that time, and I think they realized like, hey, this is not going to work. It's same thing with Daredevil. Look, they literally stopped production, redid everything, and then started up production again, and redid the whole show. So I think that Blade is one of those things where I think that, in order to do Blade right, you have to make it like rated R. Yeah. And I also think they're not willing to do that. Yeah.
I think to add to that, they really don't have a strong excuse now. I think they're ultimately kind of waiting to see how Deadpool and Wolverine performs.
Yes.
There's that. But also, they did fucking Werewolf by Night. That alone is like, okay, we're going to dip our toe into this horror-ish kind of feel for Marvel properties. And it's like, that was great. That was really well executed. That was directed by Michael fucking Giacchino, a composer. A well-renowned Hollywood composer directed the shit out of that 53-minute Marvel spot. Well, it's not a Marvel spotlight, but that extended thing that they have, the new Marvel banner, whatever the fuck. Anyway, they don't have an excuse anymore for why Blade is taking this long to be produced. And I do not doubt one bit that movie is getting pushed. There's no fucking way it comes out November of next year. There's no
agreed. Absolutely agreed. RJ, what RJ's saying here, I'm more willing to believe this than him just leaving the role altogether. saying they know what they want to do with the Blade movie now. Now it's just about getting the script cleaned up so they can start shooting. So this is like the one positive update we've had. I'm willing more to agree with that than
I need sources. I honestly, I need
right.
I can't take a lick of that with validity unless you give me a sound source. And don't even throw a fucking scooper out there. You already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's like I don't think he's going to leave the role because I think that I think there's too much potential, and I'm sure he's getting some kind of residual. He's getting something just by being attached to it. Otherwise, he'd probably be like, "Oh, I'm out of here." But I just think that kind of what Phil was saying. I think they want to see what happens with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's going to be a more violent, rated R type, movie, and so they want to see how that plays out, in the box office and how the audience reacts to it. And I think that if it's positively received, then they're going to say, okay, so let's do this. But I think one of the things that holds them back, altogether is the fact that it's on Disney Plus eventually. And Disney Plus, I mean, I'm sorry, but like that was originally intended for families and kids. And so when you start making adult content on there, you're like, how do you differentiate yourself from your other competitors? Because I mean, already when it comes to Disney Plus, when you compare that to Max or to Paramount Plus or whatever, everybody else has adult content. They have very limited adult content, and most of it is from Fox. It's not even their own productions.
Now, Disney Plus or Hulu, you get integrated with both one or the other. So
isn't that crazy?
Right,
which is
back, insane to think about. Maybe, but
that's where their adult content.
Well, even to Andre's point, like Disney Plus initially started out family friendly, but look at it now. It's got both Deadpool movies on it. It's got Logan on it. It's got a lot of Fox property films on it. I don't doubt one bit that when Deadpool and Wolverine's all said and done at the box office, it's probably going to go to Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, it has to.
It has to. So again, like they legitimately do not have a good reason why now to hold up Blade any longer. They kind of need to get a fucking move on it.
Yeah. Well, but I think also too, it's I don't want them to do a Blade movie or series, whatever it ends up being. I don't want them to do it and go the same way of like, let's say Moon Knight or some of the other characters that came out that you haven't seen or heard from.
One and done.
Have that one and done type feel. I mean, he has to be a character that you introduce, and then how do you integrate him into the bigger universe? What do you do? I mean, there's a whole Midnight Suns team, but like even then, you still have much more to develop in order to even get to that. Yeah. So I think there has to be a feasible plan of like, how do we properly integrate this character and introduce this character without it being like, oh, that was cool, and then it's just kind of over with.
Yeah, real quick before we move on, I want to give one more super chat clip to Dwayne Jackson for his $100.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man, we got a $5 super chat from saying supposedly the MCU is doing their version of Venom for the new Spider-Man trilogy. I've heard whispers of this.
I'll believe that when I see it because the fucking the fucking plot for Spider-Man 4 changes every other week. Oh, it's a multiverse story. Oh, it's a story about Kingpin. Now it's the symbiote's going to be involved in Spider-Man 4. Let me just fucking lean in, everyone. Lean in. Uncle Phil's going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret. Nobody knows what the fuck is happening with Spider-Man 4 except for Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, Tom Holland, and the writers of the original, or not the original, but the Tom Holland trilogy of Spider-Man, because they're the guys writing the fourth movie. So anyone trying to tell you otherwise don't know fucking jack shit about that movie. I don't give a fuck if your name is Daniel RPK. I don't give a fuck if your name is Jeff Snyder. I don't give a fuck if your name is Grace Randolph. Not one of you bozos know what the fuck is going on with Spider-Man 4. So shut the fuck up and quit acting like you do. Okay?
Yeah. And we're not meaning you, Connor. We're not meaning you, Connor.
Not you, Connor. Not at all.
Just clear that up. Just clear that up.
This is like the fifth fucking plot I've heard for Spider-Man 4 in the last 3 years. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on with this movie.
Yeah,
except
everyone's
the
like
people that I just listed.
Multiverse. Oh no, it's gonna be more of a grounded film now. Oh, Venom's gonna be nobody really knows. And then there was also that report too that Sony wants Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to return in their own cinematic universes through Sony.
Universe?
That's not happening.
There's no way. There's no way. That's so much to invest into. And on top of that, let's say it was true. Let's say that Sony was like, yes, we are going to give you Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's separate universes. It's like, do you really trust that Sony's going to be able to create a good, viable product with them, or are they just going to ruin it? Look at everything that they've come out with. Aside from Venom 1, everything has been a shit show. Even Venom 2 at times was like, what am I watching right now? Like, it just got real goofy.
Yeah.
Right.
Madam Web. You know what I mean? So it's a little scary.
You just need to make noises to express your opinion on Madam Web, honestly.
It's on Netflix, for crying out loud.
I saw that there was on Netflix the other day, and I was like, do I dare? And I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it on there. I was like, wow, do I want to experience this all over again? No, I really don't.
I still haven't experienced it.
You just kind of have to shake your head at that point. I mean, Andre and I watched it, and it was a movie that we watched. Right?
You should watch it, though. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth the viewing. It's worth the experience to watch it and go, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah,
there's some scenes where
I
you're
might
like,
have to do that.
There are some scenes in that movie that legitimately make you go, who okayed this decision?
Like, who cut this film?
Like, who cut this film? Who okayed this poor ADR? Who okayed any of what the fuck transpired with that film?
Ryan, didn't you see it?
Oh man,
I saw parts of it.
I
haven't seen the whole. I haven't seen the whole thing. I stopped it. I was bored.
It's not a very compelling movie. You're just kind of like, huh?
Yeah, every 10 minutes you just kind of catch yourself going, what the fuck?
You're like, oh,
you just
that was rough.
What are we doing here?
The first opening scene, I was just like, ooh, okay. I don't know about that. I would have cut a lot of this out already. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I'm
not even a director. I'm like over here. I'm cutting the movie as I'm watching it. Like, yeah.
I didn't even think Dakota Johnson could deliver lines as awkwardly she did until this movie. I was like, wow. These
Phil and Andre were like this watching.
I've seen this.
Shame on you! Go f yourself!
No,
that's how you like watching the movie.
Not quite. No, I was just in a perpetual state of confusion more often than not.
It was more like this. It was more like,
I'm sorry. What the fuck?
Like, get me out of here. Especially when he's like, with great responsibility,
great power
comes great power. That's when everyone in the world.
I'm sorry. What the fuck?
That was rough. That was really rough.
Yeah, like, they set it up for Spider-Man 4.
I know a lot of hardcore Spider-Man fans, when they heard that, they openly like went "fuck you" in the movie theater. Like from what I was told by friends and fans,
it was just and like the way they delivered it, you're just like, oh, I see what you did there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Even I was like, "Ooh, that was a choice, and that was not a good choice."
Yeah, it's like, wait, so when you watched this film before it was released, did you think that like, that was good how we slipped that in? No, it was more like when you watched it, you were like,
I genuinely feel bad for everyone involved in that movie who didn't edit it. Like, I feel bad for S.J. Clarkson. I feel bad for Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, Celeste O'Connor. Like, I feel bad for all of these people, even Tahir Rahim. Like, I genuinely feel kind of bad because I know they all signed on to do something completely different.
Adam Scott. I'm like, what
Adam
are you
Scott
doing?
too, right? Like, if there's a good thing in the movie, it's probably him. But
then towards the end, it's kind of like, why is he still in this movie? It was like he was just kind of left over. Like, it
was like Green Lantern, but amplified by like tenfold. That's how badly this studio fumbled this movie in the editing room, because they were just like, "Oh, good lord, we can't really have any hard ties to Spider-Man. Why not? I don't know. We own the character, but I don't know." It's like, you own the fucking character. Just tie it to him.
The best thing Sony has done is release the old movies. There we go.
It's true. Honestly, it's very true. It's very, very true.
We have a comment right here from RJ that's actually going to catapult us into a little segment we like to call Phil at the Movies.
Now, I bet you're all wondering, what movie did Phil see at the movies this past weekend?
Hold on. There we go.
You're all wondering, right? I bet you're all wondering.
Everybody's on the edge of their seats.
I bet, everyone in the chat's like, "Oh, what movie did Phil watch?" I'll tell you.
That's why they tuned in.
That's exactly why they tuned in. I watched a little movie called Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And this movie is phenomenal. It is George Miller doing what George Miller does best. Oh my God, someone shut that baby up. I could not have been more thrilled with this film because holy shit, it was epic in every sense of the word. I don't know that I would call it better or worse than Fury Road. I'd probably put it in the same category as Fury Road. Matter of fact, after watching this movie, I've been on kind of a Mad Max kick. I've been listening to Junkie XL's Fury Road and Furiosa scores. It's been pretty awesome. This film from beginning to finish is just absolutely spectacular, high octane. And it takes a lot of cues from Fury Road, but it also is the origin story of Furiosa, but also simultaneously being a world-building film on what was the groundwork laid in Fury Road. You get a lot more of Gastown. You get to see the Bullet Farm. You get to see Immortan Joe, and you see like a conflict that brews between him and Dr. Dementus, which, by the way, Chris Hemsworth played flawlessly. This dude, I would almost say stole the show, but Anya Taylor-Joy absolutely sells it as a younger version of Charlize Theron's Furiosa. Oh my God, this movie fucked so hard. It was fan-fucking-tastic. I loved this movie, and it is a shame that it only made $32 million domestically with a grand total of like 60-something million dollars worldwide, because this movie deserves so much better. The box office is not pretty. The summer movie blockbuster season this year is abysmal. It is terrible. For crying out loud, fucking Garfield cracked 100 million worldwide. Woo! Just about. I was shocked at that. But then again, at the same time, you know, Garfield's a little more family friendly. Furiosa is not by any means a 4-quadrant fucking movie that a lot of people probably expected it to be. I mean, if you historically look at the other Mad Max movies, not a lot of, all of them didn't really make that much money. Yeah, the budgets were very tiny by comparison. The most profitable one you could argue is either Fury Road or the original. The original had a budget of between $350,000 to about $500,000, and it made $100 million worldwide in 1979. And then Fury Road had a budget of somewhere between $160 to $180 million, and it made about $365 million. So best case scenario for Furiosa would be if the great word of mouth that it is getting hopefully gets it some wheels and some legs, because hot damn, this movie deserves to be seen in the theater. It is exhilarating. It is fantastic. Everyone is bringing their A game. You see so many just lovely little nods to the Mad Max world. You get to a much deeper, richer dive into the Mad Max world, but it also kind of subverts some expectations. It is not a straight up road matchup like Fury Road was. There is a lot of road action, don't get me wrong, but this really is a Furiosa driven story, and credit to the younger actress who plays the character for like the first hour of the movie too, because they manipulated her face through some AI generated means to make her look like Anya Taylor-Joy, which you watch the movie, it's a seamless transition from the younger version to the Anya Taylor-Joy version.
I heard that as the younger version got older, that they had a higher percentage of Anya Taylor-Joy's face impressions on her. When
you see the young, forgive me, I forget the younger actress's name, but like when you see her in the first bits of the movie, it's about 35%. Then by the time she gets to Immortan Joe's compound, the Citadel, it's about 80% manipulation. And then from there, they kind of jump into Anya Taylor-Joy's version of the character. I will not go into specifics of how that transpired, because she does go from being with Dementus to being part of Immortan Joe's fucking conquest and Citadel. But overall, like, go see this movie. It's fantastic. Fucking 9.5 out of 10 stars. Just an absolutely beautiful display of cinema. George Miller is fucking rocking hard with this movie. And by all means, if you support the theater going experience, go see Furiosa. Don't even bother with Garfield. But if you have kids and they don't want to see Furiosa, maybe go see If. I don't know. I still haven't seen that. Or be like Dawson, go see Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. That works too. Yeah. But this has been Phil with the movies.
Sorry, I didn't realize you weren't done.
It's all right. Two thumbs up. 2 thumbs up for Furiosa from Phil.
Nice.
I want to see it. I do want to see
it. That.
Definitely worth it.
Before we get to Dwayne Jackson's super chat comment, which we do see that, I do want to address what you were talking about with Summer Blockbuster. I kind of wanted to pick your guys' brains a little bit as to potentially what are some of the causes of this Summer Blockbuster fallout that we're experiencing right now. Because you can't just boil it down to one specific thing.
No, people only want to pay money for projects and movies that they know are worth seeing. And unfortunately, as much as Furiosa looks badass and looks like pure cinema, I think that there's a larger population out there that aren't as familiar with it or just don't have a passion to see that. I don't know what it is, but like I feel like if it was an MCU movie, like Deadpool and Wolverine, they're gonna go see it.
I would say that we are also, one, in a post-pandemic world. Two, streaming. Streaming has completely changed the fucking game. 100%.
Streaming, I give a lot more credence than post-pandemic because we're this many years removed from it.
So well, they kind of go hand in hand because the pandemic accelerated streaming.
Fair. That's a fair point. I think there's the streaming aspect to it is definitely a downside to it because I mean movies are on streaming faster than they have been ever, and it's like just wait 2 weeks it's on the streaming, and so it's people just waiting. And also like theaters are expensive, but also I think a major thing too is that people are kind of tired of studios. Like in the instance of Furiosa, you know, it's a prequel to a movie. It's a spin-off of a movie, and there's a lot of spin-offs, sequels, remakes that are happening. And I think in general, people are kind of tired of that. And so they kind of see Furiosa as a Mad Max story. They think, oh, it's just another one of those spin-offs.
This comment here. I mean, I'll wait until it comes out on streaming. I mean, how often do you hear that?
I hear that was pertaining to Dawson talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I know, but I went back.
Right,
because it connects to the modern day audience. Like if they see a film that, you know, if they don't, they're just much more pickier. They'll look at it and say, you know what, I'll wait for streaming because that option is readily available to you.
There's no urgency to go see it.
Yeah. Back in the day when we didn't have streaming, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to go see it because, you know, it's going to come out on video like in like 6 months. I might as well go see it now. Otherwise, I'm never going to see it. You know, who knows when I'm going to see it?
Yeah,
and so
I do think that is definitely a big factor. I do think there's also just a lot of mistrust or distrust between viewers and studios at the moment. Just again, with all these different remakes, like for instance, Mufasa, that 3D animated Mufasa movie. Like people are like, what the hell is this? What? No one wanted this. We don't want this. And I think there's a similar mentality to a lot of different things, including a spinoff like Furiosa.
Or even something like If, you know, John Krasinski directed it, Ryan Reynolds starred in it, right? Like, but here's the thing. It looked like a fun movie. From what I've heard, it's pretty solid, all things considered. But there, to Ryan's point, there was no urgency to go see it. People probably went, I can wait for it to hit Netflix or whatever, whoever distributed it, right? Whatever platform it was.
Also, that looks like a ripoff of a Cartoon Network show. I think it's
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, yeah.
Well, but
that was a good show.
It's one of those things where you're like, okay, so this movie, you know, If comes out, then you got to ask yourself, is it worth the $20 to go see it? Is it worth me spending $80 to bring my kids and food and all that shit? You know, you're just like,
sure,
nah, I don't think so. But certain films, I'm telling you, obviously, like Deadpool, Wolverine, where that movie also capitalizes on is that you have plenty of people out there that will go see that movie by themselves. Like I'm gonna have to go see it by myself, and I will pay to go see it because I want to see this movie. But when it comes to like Furiosa, I really want to see it, but unless I have someone to go with or we plan something, I don't know if I'll go see it by myself. I mean, everyone's different, but you see what I'm saying? Like some of these films, you're like, do I spend the money to go see this, or do I just save my money and, you know?
With this comment here from Anthony, I think we have to make a distinction between a sequel, a legacy sequel, or a spinoff, right? Because studios are making a lot of legacy sequels,
and it's case by case basis. Popular. It's also case by case basis depending on the IP. Like look at Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Like people were wondering how that was going to fare, and it's doing pretty well, all things considered. Well enough to where the studio's like, we're doing 5 more movies. I don't know that 5 is feasible, but hey, you got a plan, fucking stick to it. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean, still, it's like some of these films, they like you talk about sequels, right? I mean, people like sequels, but
people like sequels.
I don't know if that's the main reason that it would bring them back. I mean, you know, when you look at what Marvel did, their recent projects they put out there have not been good. I mean, when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, if Hugh Jackman wasn't in the fucking movie, if it was some other actor playing him, it would have a much different perception even now. I'd still want to go see it, but it'd be very different. Like, it'd be one thing if you said, okay, Tom Hardy's going to play Wolverine. Hey, that's cool. I want to see that. But if it's like another actor, like, I don't know, like Glenn Powell, I'm just throwing somebody out there, was playing Wolverine, and people had their doubts already, or a guy like David Corenswet is playing Wolverine, and you're just kind of like, I don't know about that guy. Again, it lowers the odds that you're going to have those solo people seeing it more than once, for that matter, in the theater.
Is anyone else here just kind of waiting to see how badly Twister's fumbles the week before?
Oh, it's going to be.
It is going to get eaten alive by Deadpool and Wolverine. It will not get a box office haul match.
That's a film that should have came out 20 years ago, when Bill Paxton was still alive.
Honestly,
look. You can throw Glenn Powell in as many legacy sequels as you want. Not every one of them is going to wind up like Top Gun Maverick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick is an exception.
And I don't want to keep Dwayne Jackson waiting too much longer for the super chat comment. Here's a little explosion for you once again, my friend. Thank you for your support. Dwayne asked the question, do you think DC will be at Comic-Con? I'm assuming San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Yes.
If so, do you think the first Superman teaser trailer, the Penguin, which Penguin just had another teaser trailer release, or at least I saw one while I was watching the NBA playoffs, which looks great. And DC related and Warner Brother content trailers with panels and Gunn, it would be perfect timing for a teaser trailer. As far as timing a trailer, I don't know if Gunn said anything about that. They weren't at San Diego Comic-Con last year. I think they'd be remiss if they missed this year. Because, I mean, you're trying to promote a new Superman movie. You're trying to get people aware of it. Yeah, because, like, your DC universe pretty much rides or dies on the back of Superman legacy. I'll just call it to distinguish it. But if that movie's not successful, there's a good chance the DCU doesn't have that much longer of a future after that.
To answer Dwayne's question directly, do I think DC will be at Comic-Con this year? Possibly. Do I think James Gunn will be at Comic-Con this year? No, I won't. I don't. I think he'll still be filming Superman by at least August. That's when that movie, I think, is allegedly supposed to finish wrapping. Will the Penguin be there? Probably. Will the Joker movie, Joker Folio do, maybe have another teaser there? Possibly. That might be a good spot to show off Creature Commandos before it actually debuts everywhere else.
I could see that.
I would also guarantee that Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios are probably going to announce an animated movie slate following Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 at San Diego Comic-Con.
Aren't they also still working on the Watchmen animated movie? Or
yes,
would that be
something
they could showcase?
So after Part 3, that is the last animated film slated to come out for this year. But I can guarantee you James Gunn will probably be at San Diego Comic-Con next year with more updates regarding the slate of DC, regardless of however Superman. It'll be too early to even tell at that point, because by the time fucking Comic-Con rolls around, Superman had been in theaters for a week, maybe two at best. So I think one way or the other, James Gunn will be at San Diego Comic-Con next year. This year, I don't know. He could do like a video thing like Zack Snyder did when he was interviewed from, on the Horowitz podcast when Horowitz interviewed Henry Cavill and Zack Snyder popped in via webcam. I could see James Gunn doing something like that, but like being there in person, I don't know. Unless he wanted to do what Snyder did in 2015, like hop on a plane, come and show some shit off, and then hop back on the plane and go finish filming the movie, maybe. But I don't know. I just don't. I don't know, because I don't know. James Gunn and Zack Snyder are not the same person, and I don't know that he would follow that same suit. But just as far as like DC themselves, DC and Marvel notoriously are at San Diego Comic-Con. Will they be at Hall H? That is the real question.
Right. I can agree with that. Yeah, I like this question. Like you said, I think they'll show off some stuff. I don't know if James is going to be there personally, but I feel like with the Penguin, they'll need to show off at least like a trailer. Joker is one of those where I could see them skipping that altogether, because it's like,
it's not really a comic book film.
Yeah, it's not really a comic book movie. And so like, I feel like that has enough weight on its own because of how good the first one was. And so they don't really feel like the need probably to show it off at Comic-Con.
And my guess is they're probably going to show off the final trailer for Joker Folie Do in front of Beetlejuice.
Yeah, probably.
I can see that. Which trailers will come out for that, which, like, I don't know how to feel about that.
Which, in that case, the trailer would debut at least a week or two early online. so they can get into theaters before Beetlejuice comes out.
I can see that. We got another quick super chat here from Connor Dorian, another $20. Let's give you a explosion as well. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something, Ryan?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you and Phil weighed in. Me and Andre haven't.
Oh, sorry.
But, I mean,
I just want to make sure.
No, it's fine.
No,
it's fine.
It's cool.
Go ahead and address it.
And thank you so much, Connor. Thank you so much, Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you, Connor.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Andre.
Take it away, Dawson.
Take it away, Dawson.
Tell me your thoughts about DC being at San Diego Comic-Con.
I think they'll definitely be there. I think that James Gunn and all them will have a do the whole Hall H thing because he has to promote and kick off his new DC. I feel like if they skip that, you still run the risk that not enough eyes are going to be on the new DC, and I think that they're going to obviously something to do with Superman. I don't know if it's a trailer or not, but it might be. I mean, that's coming up in what, July? I think
so.
June. Yeah,
July. It's July.
In July.
Mid-July. 20.
I could see them dropping the trailer at Hall H for people who were there, and then later that day dropping it on the internet for everyone to see it. Because I mean, what they want you to do is they want you to scour the internet trying to find that one person that recorded it who was in Hall H and it looks all like jacked up and stupid, and you're like, but I mean, nothing. I mean, there's been a lot of great announcements, but like for me at least, nothing tops like when they dropped that BVS trailer.
Nothing.
That was like, oh my god, this is badass. Even fucking John Campea, when that trailer first came out, he did a reaction video, and he was like, fuck yeah. He's like, this is fucking badass, because it was something we hadn't seen before. I mean, we'd seen Marvel shit, but we hadn't seen a darker, more serious, universe out of DC. So it was like, yeah, this is cool, and you saw the Robin suit and everything, and that's what they need to establish, to do a trailer and a reveal where you're like, wow, I want to know more about this. Like, I want to dive into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think what they could do is have some character posters, something, some reveal, something more than just Superman putting on a shoe. Because that just didn't really hit. So they need to, they have to have
all to high heaven. Yeah.
They have to have, something else, character poses, of them in action, saying Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Kal-El, Clark Kent, whatever, and just have posters around, right? And then they could do something similar to or akin to James Wan, where they show something exclusive, like Andre was saying, just like, hey, here's some footage. It doesn't have to be a trailer, like a sizzle reel, something to get the people amped up to like start talking about it, because that's what they need. Because right now, dude, it's for the most part, I think Superman is just not really off to a great start for anybody to get hyped about it, to talk about it. And that's one of the horrible things about being a DC fan, is that like you really want to like, yeah, no, I'm a DC fan, I love this thing or whatever, and they just don't show you anything that's like of value, other than the other things that we love on the channel. But I mean, I think Creature Commandos, definitely will have some form. You gotta bring awareness to that shit, because nobody cares about Creature Commando. Nobody knows about Creature Commandos. Yeah. So you want to bring eyes to it if it's the first animated or the first iteration of whatever medium in this particular universe. You want to say, hey, look at this, hey, we got something to show you.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything else, I mean, but I don't think it'll be a trailer. I don't think it'll even be a teaser trailer. If it is, I'm fucking shocked, but I think it'll be something just to kind of get hype reinvigorated or built up, because right now his hype machine just kind of sucks.
I can agree with that. RJ, the Ultimate Edition definitely does. I love it to it, in my opinion. But anyway, back to Connor Dorian's comment here. First off, thanks again for the $20 super chat. Says here, I think this is referring to Venom the Last Dance. Says, apparently Peter Parker is 10 years old in Venom the Last Dance, and Venom wants to kill him because he is destined to kill Venom, but Eddie Brock has second thoughts, and they decide to protect him from other symbiotes. I mean, I've not seen that reported anywhere, but I think it'd be a cool idea if they actually decide to, believe they actually have a Spider-Man they can work with, and actually use that character. I'd be shocked if they do this. I'd be genuinely shocked if they involve Peter Parker at all.
Especially after Madam Web, I'd be shocked too.
Yeah, I'd
be
shocked.
They can. I don't think they're allowed to. They're like, we own the character. Yeah, but you can't use him.
So, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but I would definitely be shocked if that were the case.
Right. And thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Do a drop. Do a drop.
Do a drop.
Do a drop.
Do another drop.
I wanted to whip it out.
ain't no way a 10-year-old Peter Parker showing up in Venom 3. Ain't no way.
That'd be the same mistake they did with the Joker, where you had like a 10-year-old Bruce Wayne behind.
The only way
it was weird
that Peter Parker would show up is if for some crazy reason they actually decided we're going to give you Andrew Garfield Spider-Man his own universe. This is a prequel, but even then it'd be like, huh? It wouldn't make any sense.
I think Ryan is right. I think Batman Azteca might also be the last. It's either Batman Azteca or Watchmen. They're for sure, I think, coming out this year. I know for sure Watchmen's supposed to.
And here's another clip for you, Dwayne. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. They actually have a Batman, not Batman, but I mean a statue that looks like Michael Keaton's Batman, but it looks very Aztec. I think it's even green.
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm sure. I assume that's where they kind of got the idea for this. But has anybody seen anything like any artwork from this or any stills or?
The only stills that I've seen for anything Batman animated related is the Batman. Gosh, what's that show?
Cape Crusader.
Cape Crusader. Yeah,
seen some stuff for that.
Oh yeah.
Which still looks interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Oh yes.
But actually, real quick, Andre, I kind of want to highlight something real quick because you actually came out with something very interesting really awesome this past week. Actually, I don't know why I use the word interesting. It sounds negative.
Very
it's positive.
Very
thing.
Interesting. I'm not. Quite
but you
sure
came out with your new website.
So the reason why you're seeing that is because I'm in my stream talking to Jamie and Connor. So I was like, wait, they're all going to see these comments.
You're doing cross networking.
Oh yes. No, yeah. He's like, come over here, guys.
Yeah, don't watch them.
Don't watch the 4Nerds.
So I have a website now that leads to communities for all three of my channels. So if you wanted to become a member of this channel, do so by going to the website and becoming a member on there. I get 100% of the proceeds as opposed to sharing it with YouTube or Patreon or anybody else. So it's much better to go through the website. And then, like I said, if you become a member of the channel, then you gain access to the community. Two of these guys are already on there, and I post I post links to articles and different things on there just to kind of keep the conversation going about pop culture and all that. And I have these communities for every single one of my channels. So definitely check out Nickatina.net.
Yeah, absolutely.
What were you gonna say, Ryan?
For every third member that joins, Andre is going to send you out a free membership packet. A
free membership packet that has a whole bunch of the Nephilim drawings.
Yeah, let's go.
And one sticker.
Nice.
No, let's not guarantee that.
Well, originally Ryan so my logo was going to be Nephilim's logo, but then he decided I'm going to branch out and make my own logo.
He needs to look like the Flash.
He's looking like the Flash. No, his looks like Nightwing.
And I also I actually started something. I revamped my Patreon this week to be more my artwork related, with new tiers of different things you can have. So I did put that in the comments. So in case anyone wants to support,
definitely
artists,
do that.
Awesome.
We got lower tier ones, people who just simply want to support with a couple bucks. We also have some with really awesome prizes per month, like
Dawson will visit your home.
No, I will not do that. But access to
Dawson will do your DoorDash for you.
He'll do your laundry.
No, I will not do that.
He'll go get you Little Caesars.
I'll get myself Little Caesars, gosh dang it. But no, it'll, like some of the higher tiers make it to where you can get artwork from me, like hand-drawn artwork, once a month if you so choose.
Nice.
So it's cool. That's perks like that.
Yeah, definitely check out his Patreon. And the hype machine.
There's a hype machine for Superman.
There isn't.
Really isn't.
There isn't yet. And I mean, look, they haven't gotten into the full. What do you call it?
Marketing stage.
They're not in full marketing mode for it yet. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, they're not.
And so they have time. But as far as like early, like there's people that are excited about it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Like I know people that are excited for it. The people posting about it. But it's like it's lacking in ways that other movies that have been anticipated have had hype before. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Well, that's because they don't have brand confidence, man. Nobody's confident in this new universe yet.
Plus, it's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers never really has done a great job in, presenting their stuff. It's just I don't know.
To add on to these two gentlemen, because they've got some stuff kind of pouring out and working on. I'm working on something, but I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet. But just
then why bring it up?
I know. What's the fun? I got some too, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Because I like teasing.
Back after them. Stay tuned.
I like teasing things. I'm sorry. I like teasing stuff.
What if Martin Luther King would have said that? I kind of have an idea. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm going to keep it as a dream.
I mean, occasionally, my birthday does fall on MLK Day, so just saying.
I don't know what.
I can't take you seriously in that hat.
That works on so many levels.
Here's the funny thing.
I was the one who uploaded that clip.
Were you? I was wondering who did that.
I did upload that clip.
And then Phil's wearing a hat too. Like,
I know. Irony.
Like, damn it.
Beautiful irony. Yeah.
I'll agree with RJ here. The Superman has to prove itself with a good trailer. I absolutely agree with this. This is where if there's gonna be a hype machine for it, it'll be because of a trailer. I absolutely agree with this. It is more than a year away, so there's a lot of things that could happen.
Good trailer.
100% agree with you, RJ.
Good movie
for sure.
Good successful.
I mean, he could try to put on his other boots.
Yeah.
The thing too about about Superman is that like I do like that it's in an established DC universe, so you have other characters. You have Mr. Fantastic and all them already established, and so I think that's good because if we were gonna get a reboot and like a whole new startup to a whole new universe, I think that's dead in the water. Like, dude, no one has the time for that shit anymore.
They kind of tried that with Black Adam.
Yeah. I mean, even the new series like Invincible and The Boys. I mean, obviously, look, they're based on the comics, but like in those universes, their universe has already existed. You know what I mean? Like, in The Boys, superheroes already exist. You know what I mean? And they have teams and all this shit. There goes Ryan.
We lost Mr. Zeeverfett. Ruthie asked in the chat earlier. We were excited for The Boys next season. I know Andre and I probably are. I don't know about Dawson.
Oh, I'm very excited. In fact, what happened?
I pulled my mouth.
What the heck?
So, I'm super excited about The Boys season 4. In fact, Sean and I are going to be doing a watch party for The Boys season 4. The only problem that I'm having with is that on the day it comes out, they're dropping 3 episodes. So I got to figure out how we're going to manage that because
just binge it.
Just binge, all 3 episodes.
Yeah,
yeah, we might. Or we might just do 1 episode a day.
No, you should do that and do it on your Nickatina network.
Okay, so what were we talking about again?
Damn, son.
Was that not a good idea? Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty good idea.
Like, how dare you suggust content from my
how dare you try to send people to my channel?
You are. You think you're the Nephilim?
How would you say it like that?
It's the Nephilim. The Nephilim.
Upset.
I did just
actually, to be honest, like his name is the Nephilim. Yeah. I thought of a cooler name, a shorter name for him.
Yeah.
Ryan had Neff. I thought Phil. Phil should be his short name. The Phil.
The Phil.
The Phil.
Nephilim. That's the Phil.
The Phil. That should be your name on the streams now. The Phil.
The Phil. Furiosa. I like that one though.
You just noticed that?
No, I saw it earlier. I just didn't want to give you credit for it.
An hour and 43 minutes in. I noticed.
At least
we have
one of you
watching, guys. There's 64 people watching. Please like and subscribe.
Thank you. Smash that fucking like button like no tomorrow.
Yeah, subscribe. Log on to the Nickatina Network. But yeah, and so the whole website is cool. The community is cool, and then there's an app you can download called Collab, and that allows you to interact on the community on your phone or tablet or whatnot. So it's pretty cool. Ryan's on there.
For sure.
He's gonna be
Why
dropping
don't you just
some.
make a fucking Discord. Oh wait, you already did. Never mind.
I already did, and I didn't use it.
Discord is like, I feel like Discord is like dying. I mean,
I use Discord every day.
I'm part of. Like,
I use Discord every day. So
yeah,
there are 2 Discords that I use every day. Well, most days it's like there's a Spawn fan group, and there's a fan group for Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, which is a PlayStation 2 game that I loved growing up. There's a Discord for that, which is actually pretty cool.
God.
yeah, how many people are in it? 2?
Yeah, him and his
There's
wife.
actually not a. I don't know. People, let me check. Actually, I want
every
see.
morning, Dawson's like, "What's up, guys?" The reply he gets is like the middle finger emoji. Like, all right, all right, yeah.
There is 1,160 members.
Yes,
there's over 1,000 members.
Good day.
Really?
Yep,
that's crazy.
Wow. Can you tell how surprised I am by that? Because that game's old as fuck. Like, wow.
Okay.
Love that game. I play it so many times. Also got another $10 super chat here from Dwayne. Dude, much appreciated.
Goodness.
Here is a doomsday explosion. Dwayne Jackson here says, of all characters DC has, they can always nail a great Batman movie. Well, not always, but most of the time. But always mess up with a Superman movie. Yeah. Well, not always mess up with Superman movie because you have Superman 78 and Man of Steel. Superman a difficult movie to write for. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something right now, and I'm going to blow myself up for this. The reason why it's hard to have a satisfying Superman movie on a consistent basis is because, in my opinion, Superman fan bases, just as a general statement, not everybody, tend to be some of the most toxic, in my opinion. No, okay, don't put that on me. Wow. I was telling you right now, a lot of internet groups about Superman are some of the most toxic I've ever seen. Why? I'm trying to make a point. Screw you. I'm just. I guess
that's high praise.
But it's very hard to write.
It is
fandom that is so particular about certain things. Like there's a faction of the fan base that wants every single actor that portrays Superman to have Christopher Reeve's face.
Okay,
flash wants them.
I'm gonna stop you right there because I'm also gonna add on to that. Superman fans are also super flip floppy because when Superman Returns came out, everyone was like, or rather, Superman fans were like, "That was boring. All he did was fly. He caught a plane. There was no action."
It's a badass scene.
And then what happened with Man of Steel? There was a fuck ton of action that meant something, and there were ramifications and consequences. What did Superman fans do? This isn't my Superman. This isn't Christopher Reeve. He isn't saving a cat out of a tree and smiling enough. What the hell, Zack Snyder? Why'd you make him snap Zod's neck? Wah! That's how Superman fans approach Superman. And I promise you, with all the ball gargling that they're doing for James Gunn, oh my God, we've got a comic book guy making a fucking Superman movie. Oh my God, we're so saved. Yeah, this is the same guy who makes toilet humor in every single one of his movies. So prepare yourselves for Superman to step out of a fucking toilet box with a toilet paper trapped to his boot. Box.
And RJ here says people are super particular about Batman 2. That is true. There is toxicity in Batman Phantom 2, and I've seen a lot of that.
Axel Droga.
Yes. But like
there's a whole network dedicated to being toxic about Batman on film. Oh wait, did I just say it out loud? I think I did.
Oh, you did.
Well, like here's the thing though with Batman is that there's been enough of different iterations of Batman to where people are like, okay, I'm okay with different ideas to an extent.
Well, Batman is a lot easier to write for.
Yes,
as far as just bringing in new characters, and that's the problem with the Superman stuff is that they always go back to Lex and Zod, and again here this next movie, you got Lex again. You need to expose your audience to the array of Superman villains that are out there. It's not just Darkseid. There's a lot of Superman villains out there and a lot of different, situations that you can put him in, but they just keep him confined to like, okay, he's going to fly around, but he's going to fly in Metropolis mostly. And
I think that's inherently the problem. Like if you look at what Christopher Nolan did with Batman Begins, he used Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul. He did not use Riddler. He did not use Two-Face. He waited for the Joker. He didn't use the Penguin. He used Catwoman in the third film, right? There was no retreading of what had come before. But look at fucking Superman every single time. Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor. Almost every single fucking time. And if it's not Lex Luthor, it's General fucking Zod. Massive props to Zack Snyder for being like, no, I want to do Doomsday and then I'm going to do Steppenwolf and Darkseid.
Yeah.
Finally, we got someone who wanted to utilize another fucking Superman villain or another DC villain that Superman could fight. You know? Oh, I understand it. Everyone wants Brainiac. I want Brainiac. I would love for Brainiac to be the big bad of Superman. This James Gunn movie. My gut tells me it's not going to fucking happen.
No,
My gut tells me it's going to wind up being a Superman return situation. Oh, we're just going to save Brainiac for the next movie.
Yeah.
It's always the fucking plan.
It's always the plan. It's always the plan. Every single fucking time.
To answer Dwayne's last question, is Superman difficult to write a movie for? It's like partially yes, but I think the majority of the reason why is because of fan reactions to different ideas. They're very particular about what they want, and then when they get what they want, they find some way to complain about it.
I think that with James Gunn's Superman, I think he's going to start out being...
Dwayne's got a good one. Mongol. I'd love to see Mongol.
Well, hell yeah. And
we got Mongal. Remember Mongal? And
with Mongol, you can take Cal off planet, and he's not near the yellow sun, and you put him in a kind of like they did in Dawson's favorite movie, Thor Ragnarok, where you have like a gladiator kind of situation, and you've got Cal facing off against different aliens, and at least that's something else to punch. That's something else to see him like struggle with or kind of work his way through, because Cal's a smart guy, just like Bruce. He's smart. He's not just about his muscles. He's
what the problem with that is, though? Superman fans would bitch that he isn't on Earth saving cats out of trees.
Well, but here's the thing: is that I believe at the beginning of Superman,
I like that idea though. I really do like that idea.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
That would make a fucking epic Superman movie. I'd love to watch the shit out of it.
I think he's going to be very campy and very cliche Superman at the beginning of the movie. And then as the movie goes on, his character will get more and more serious as the plot becomes more and more serious. But I think initially it's going to start off with him just being super campy, saving a cat out of a tree and being very cliche. And then it's just going to kind of progress from there. Because I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah,
because that's what everyone's been clamoring for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, like what Dawson was saying about how depending on what take you give Superman, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Yep. Either you go super campy or you go super cute. More serious, like what Zach did in Man of Steel, and I loved it. I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah.
But then it's weird that everyone's like, oh no, this is not Superman. This is not. It's kind of like, well,
to make the writers toe a very fine line. Specifically, and if it doesn't meet their specific expectations, they kind of go all over the place.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that a guy like James Gunn who has his own sense of humor, I think maybe that trying to find that balance between stupidity, corniness, and seriousness, maybe he can kind of pull that off, because a lot of his humor is a bit campy and corny. So, but to me, I mean, look, when you look at the cast that he's assembled and you look at the characters that are going to be there, the crew at the Daily Planet will take center stage, I believe, in this film, that you're going to get a lot of them. And if you read All Star Superman, they were in those stories like pretty heavily. Yep. So I think that's what he's going to really heavily lean on. And then of course you got the villain that he basically shared with everybody in that image. What was his name? The big fucking eyeball, Solaris, that blocks out the sun. And so that's what's going to make this Superman more human, is that he won't be as powerful because of the sun. And so, but then again, it's kind of like, are you going to have that scene where he's going to go flying towards him at one point and just, with all of his might, kind of like what you saw in Man of Steel when he took down the, what do you call it? World Engine. It's I don't know. We'll see what he does. I'm still not ready to say it's going to be a shitty movie, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
hopefully it's good.
I'm pretty ready to say I'm not hyped for the movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where I'm at.
A trailer really needs to happen, and then that will decide how hyped everyone is going to be.
It's funny. RJ mentions here in the chat that people are loving My Adventure with Superman. It's funny you mention that, because the version of Lex Luthor they have in that show very much reminds me of, wait for it, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Very similar. But
so I'm pretty sure Dawson and I are pretty much in agreement in regards to your opinion in regards to that version of Lex Luthor. Say what you will, call it the worst. We think it's the best. I think it's the absolute best version of Lex Luthor since ever.
I think it's the most inventive.
I don't think it's
at
the
least
best version, but
at least in live action film, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll be as specific as I can. In live action movies, Jesse Eisenberg absolutely has the fucking crown because Gene Hackman came back 4 different times, didn't do shit to his version of Superman. Kevin Spacey is playing a poor man's version of Gene Hackman. So what competition is there?
But at the same time, you only saw one side of Lex. You saw him in BVS, and then you saw him a little bit in Justice League, but not really a lot. So you didn't get to see.
Given time to develop.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Right.
By the time we've gotten to, Justice League 2 and Justice League 3, like you would have saw many shades of Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, and I think that by the time we got to the final Justice League, you would have seen a full arc of his character, and it would have been more appreciated because as the Justice League movies would have come out and the Batman movie, you would have seen his character go from, super silly, quirky, kind of like spontaneous to more serious, more conniving, more bent on revenge and wanting, to find any way possible to meet the demise of Batman and especially Superman. He was he was essentially enraged by that, which is similar because that's what Batman was at the beginning of BVS. He was blinded by his rage of wanting to take down Superman. And so as you get into the later films, Lex is in turn blinded by his rage of making Batman and Superman pay as much as possible, to the point where he literally brings Darkseid to the planet to kill them, and then he thinks that he's going to be on his team. Then he ends up killing him. And so like he created his own demise. And I think that like at the end of Justice League 3, he would have realized when instead of Lois dying, Superman shows up, beats up Darkseid. Darkseid takes off, and I think that's when he starts to realize, wait a minute, like, this guy is going to kill everyone, including myself. Like, what have I done? And then, because, Lex has always been a guy where, at the end of the day, he wants to save humanity. He wants to save mankind. Because, he feels, no one should be as powerful as Superman, right? So I think at the end of the day, he realizes that, like, it's up to him to stop Darkseid from destroying humanity. And eventually he sort of does.
Yeah, and Dwayne here is like Metallo for Superman, maybe Atomic Skull. That'd be pretty sick. I would definitely really enjoy that.
I think in BVS, to be honest, I agree with what Ryan has said. It should have been Bizarro. It should have been like a Bizarro type.
If you're gonna bring Zod back, he should have been disoriented and kind of like a zombie.
Yeah, that would have been better.
The only reason why it was Doomsday was because that was actually the studio mandating that they wanted to see a villain that all three Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman would have to come against or whatever, and they wanted that moment, which the moment was there and was cool, when they all came together. But I think it would have made more sense if you'd had Lex take the Zod's armor,
because he had his body.
He had his body and the armor. Lex uses the armor and goes up against Superman, and then Bizarro goes up against Batman or vice versa or whatever. Just something interesting and different. And then Diana would have to come in and like fucking play ping pong and shit. Like who needs the help or whatever. So it would have been more interesting. But the Doomsday that was brought was just kind of like underwhelming, and the scene wasn't crafted in a way that it was like, okay, this character has earned the time to be here, and let's go ahead and kill fucking Superman now and all that. And I never really liked that. And one of the bigger things that I didn't like was that they put it in the fucking trailer before the movie, so like you knew it was coming.
Putting in the trailer was bad.
Like,
the final trailer they released
awesome,
was
like reveal, and it wasn't. It was like, oh, okay. Thanks.
And it also
was a bad idea. I can agree.
The final trailer was god awful. I hated it.
Yeah.
And it made it to where when Batman and Superman started fighting each other, it took away some of the magnitude of the scene, because as I'm watching it, I'm like, well, I already know that they're going to team up later on. So
yes,
whatever comes of this, they're going to figure it out.
Agreed.
And with this, RJ was making the point that he thinks fans have matured. I'd say yes and no. And you make the point, not all fans I think there's some truth to this. And
yeah, I think so.
And I wouldn't say it's like the multiverse that's responsible, because the multiverse is like, it hasn't really been explored yet. People still don't quite, like newer like audiences don't quite grasp it yet, because Multiverse of Madness didn't really explore that all that much, really. And the Flash, nobody remembers the Flash.
Came and went and fell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say yes and no to this. I both agree and disagree that people have matured, because like you go online, you still see the same BS that was back in 2013 and 2015.
Yeah, but some of those guys are never going to change their opinions. But I think they've matured in the sense that because of shows like The Boys, because of shows like, Invincible, Fallout, I mean, just pop culture shows that have gone more of like a serious, more darker route. I think that it's allowed them to become more open to different interpretations of the character. Now, I don't think everyone has, but I think a larger majority of the audience, it will be more receptive to it. I mean, if Man of Steel and BVS came out now, I think that it would have been more well received.
Well, if Man of Steel and BVS Ultimate Edition would have come
out. I think if Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman had come out either before the MCU was a thing or now, the reception to those movies would have been completely fucking different.
Completely different. Absolutely.
100% different.
If that movie came out, if those movies came out when the Iron Man came out, and they never actually did the Iron Man, they just kind of they just flopped on their own universe, right? Let's just pretend. Everyone would have accepted it because I mean, like, what did you have before that? You had the Dark Knight trilogy. You had Keaton's Batman. You had all these you had Blade. You had all these darker characters, and so I think that if you would have done Zack's DC, it would have been more a bigger reception to it. Everyone would have been like, yeah, this is cool. I want to see more of this, because I mean, when you look at it, there wasn't a lot of like superhero, like brighter, happier, not happier, but like, there wasn't a lot of things doing what Marvel ended up doing. I mean, you had movies like Hancock, but still that felt like two different movies by the time you got to the end of it.
Yes.
Right.
But even then, that was probably, I think, when it comes to superhero movies, that was the closest thing you had to like what Marvel is doing now. The first half of it, that is. But even in that film, they were a little edgier. He was drinking, he was drunk, flying around. Am I allowed to touch you? Get me the fuck out of here! Okay, So like they did some things that Marvel still doesn't do, or are barely scratching the surface on doing, because they don't want to.
I still really enjoy Hancock. There's a lot of enjoyable moments.
I think the first half of it I like.
The second half of it kind of loses its identity.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like a different movie. It was
they should have expanded it to where the movie ended, where he saves people and becomes a hero.
Well, he becomes a hero, but he has to, the whole thing about like when they're close together, they're like less powerful. It was kind of like, what? Is this necessary?
He loves true power.
Yeah, and then at the end, he's in New York and he's got like an eagle on his shoulder. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah. And also, we got another super chat from Dwayne Jackson. Dude, much appreciated, man. Here's an explosion. This can actually lead us into some Green Lantern stuff we can talk about. It says, I don't know if you've seen the fan art post for a fan film Green Lantern movie. It looks fantastic. I have seen pictures of that. There's no fan and I have support the Lantern series. It looks awesome. Yeah. Do we have a post for that? I need to go find the post for fan, but the suit does look really good for that fan film, and I think it's the most interesting thing we've seen Green Lantern related. Like
I got it right here. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
There's Green Lantern or whatnot. Yeah, there's more hype for this and more news about this than the Green Lantern series, which I feel like Green Lantern is just perpetually something that's in development hell, regardless of what form it takes, and that's just really frustrating to me, because you can do so many cool things with it. Yeah, this is the fan film costume, which looks incredible.
I mean, for a fan film, yeah, that looks really good. I know when Ryan did his costumes for Rising Threat, they were on the verge of looking like this, right?
I didn't have superhero outfits, but I mean, no, I got them actually from a costumer cosplayer. And
what do you think about this suit of Hal Jordan?
I like the green. I don't like the mask.
It's a practical mask.
It's a practical mask, which is better than what they had for the Ryan Reynolds thing. But I mean, it looks cool. His thighs look kind of big because of the padding on top, but I mean, it looks fine for a fan film. It looks amazing.
Oh, by the way, RJ, thanks for insulting a project I was a part of.
I forgot about that thing. Oh no!
Look at that.
That suit looks great.
Yeah, look at that guy. I like the makeup. That looks good.
I thought that was Mark Wahlberg when I first saw this. I was like, what? Oh, never mind.
What is wrong?
Hey, what's going on, Kilowog? How's it going?
You're bleeding quite a lot. What happened? You crashed your ship, huh? Say hi to your mother for me. I love that skit so freaking much.
But I mean, the suit looks pretty cool. I mean, they did say something like, "Oh, the only one who's going to see this film is Zack Snyder or something. Are they going to send him a copy or something?" I was like, "Oh, okay, right on." It's a fan film, so I mean, I'm not expecting the world, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think the suit looks pretty cool just for being a fan film.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't have anything to add.
There's a different Superman fan film. What are you talking about? I didn't know there's a different one. Okay, I jumped to conclusions.
Wow.
It's
Well,
a
which one
jump
were
to
you
conclusions game.
which one was RJ referring to? I'm curious.
I don't know.
I have no idea. He said a different one. I don't know.
Superman Legacy.
That's on me, RJ. I thought you were referring to another one. Anyone know the release date of?
I can let me see if the actual tweet says. First look at upcoming Green Lantern film. No, it doesn't. Okay. Thanks
But
for
RJ
the
here is
share.
saying that Lanterns is moving full steam ahead. I haven't heard anything, so this is news to me.
Yes.
Got a showrunner and writer's room that's already put scripts together. I wouldn't be shocked if it start production at some point next year. Again, that's one of those things where, as far as Green Lantern, like, it's another thing that I'll believe when I see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, they've had so many things announced. At this point, I'm just tired. It's like, we have an animated show, we have a live action show, we have a movie. It's like, freaking make up your mind, okay? Like, actually do something about it. But if it indeed is moving full steam ahead, then it's nice to hear. Finally, nice to hear. What's up, Jason?
There was some information about that. I'm trying to find it.
And I get you, RJ. Which one are you referring to, though? I haven't heard of another recent Superman fan film.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Again, with Green Lantern, I believe when I see it. When I see like.
So right here, this is from DC Film News. It says that James Gunn confirms that the Lanterns team. Yes, it's true. The Lanterns DCU series is putting together a crack team of writers based on a wonderful pilot script and Bible by Chris Mundy, Tom King, and Damien Lindelof. And so they're putting together a team of writers to officially work on it. This is the team right here. Holy shit. We've uncovered the writing and producing team officially attached to Lanterns. And it's these guys right here and girls. And I guess they're the ones who are writing Lanterns. But I mean, what excites me about Lanterns is the idea that, like, again, what Ryan was saying is, like, if you have a Lantern series, then you're introducing, you know, the cosmic side of DC, and then Superman can leave the planet and go fight a bunch of cosmic beings where not everyone is human.
Yeah, interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah, I can't.
The only name that really kind of grabbed my attention was Damon Lindelof. I really do.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic writer. I love Watchmen, so that piques my interest. And you know, Tom King, he's a comic writer. He's only done like one Green Lantern one-shot thing, so cool for him for being on the writers, I guess. But yeah.
There's also this as well. I meant to share this earlier. Somebody asked him, like, please wink if you have plans for Deathstroke. I'm waiting for my boy to shine for so long. And he said, sigh, and then gave him the wink. So, I mean, if you're creating a DC universe, how could you not have Deathstroke?
Right.
So that's not huge news, but at least he somewhat confirms that, yeah, I've got something working on that.
Probably related to the Titans movie, if I had to guess.
We have a lot of things like in the works. Whether or not they actually come to fruition is another story altogether. That's the main thing. Is like I have so much built-in distrust of anything Warner Brothers or anything related to that is doing with DC that it's like even them announcing stuff or even hinting at stuff happening doesn't get me excited anymore. It just doesn't. And that's, again, just me being pessimistic, I guess. Another super chat from Dwayne Jackson.
Hey,
dude.
man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Here's Doomsday Explosion. Actually, no, let's get you a different one. We need a different one for you. Here's Laser Eyes. Dwayne here says James Gunn called Lindendorf Satan 10 years ago. I don't know about this.
So I actually watched Dave Pena's live stream from yesterday. He looked into it. It looks like the account that was pulled from was not the official James Gunn account on Facebook, so it wasn't true.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But it does lead into a bigger conversation in regards to how a certain subsect of Zack Snyder's fans are literally trying their damnedest to pull a gotcha and make James Gunn look bad, when inadvertently they just make a lot of us look bad by doing this dumb shit.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that for sure, where people like misconstrue quotes or make up quotes out of nowhere, and it's like guys, like I get if you're like, for instance, Phil and I, we're not necessarily, or I guess this whole panel, we haven't seen anything about the new Superman movie that gets us like really hyped or anything. But that's one thing. It's one thing to not necessarily be hyped, but it's a whole other thing to kind of go out of your way to be bitter and just try to destroy a movie before it's even out. It's a movie, for goodness sakes. Like, life goes on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyway, it's just all ridiculous.
Yeah,
makes me so tired of like social media fandom and all that stuff. But stuff you deal with when you're a fan of this stuff. It's supposed to be fun. Don't ruin it for other people. That's a lesson. Don't ruin the stuff for other people.
Right.
Don't be that person.
Mm-hmm.
But
don't be that person. Don't do it.
Don't be a douchebag. It's not hard.
Don't be a doucher.
It's never a good idea. Never a good idea.
It never works out.
Never go full douche. But thanks again, Dwayne, for the super chat. And with that, we're just now a little bit over the 2-hour mark that we usually tend to cut things off. It was good to have all four of us here again. It's been a while since all four of us were able to be on the show together. It's just life's getting in the way, like stuff. Or
I love ripping on all of you. It's always fun.
It's been great. It's been great.
Yeah,
I regret showing up.
No,
it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Like I said,
shame on you. Ugly baby judges you.
Yes, that's me. That is me. Not this Andy Samberg bullshit these three fucking chuckleheads decided to pull on me.
Oh, yeah, I redeleted the picture too.
Oh no!
You didn't have to do that.
I did that out of like kindness. I was like, I'll just get rid of that.
He was trying to make room for another photo.
You didn't have to do that. I can take a joke.
Here, I brought it back.
Anyway,
Yes!
Just add a 4Nerds hat to it and some little bit longer hair.
Yeah,
Philly Sandberg.
Philly Sandberg.
Philly Sandberg.
Okay, that might be a little touch too far, Ryan.
That's it. I'm done.
Fair enough. With that, let's go around the horn and see. Anybody got any final words or announcements or anything like that? We can start with Phil. I know you said you have something that you don't want to talk about yet, but
not quite. Yeah, I'm working on something YouTube related that I'll probably be talking about here in the next couple weeks. I think I might have even told you guys about it beforehand, but yeah. Other than that, not really a whole lot going on. Just playing a lot of games. Me and Craig are trying to nail down a day for our Suicide Squad retrospective for the Eternal Night. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. You can catch me on the Council of Creators after I get off here. I'll probably be hopping on over there with Jordan and everyone else on that panel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Definitely go check that out, people. And Ryan, you're working on your book.
I am. Let me share what I was working on with you guys on stream.
Okay, what character is this?
At the top, his name is Officer.
He's the armless police officer.
Well, I don't need to draw his arm if I'm drawing him sideways.
Is that his ability? He can attach his arms and his head.
So he's just a regular human. But he's in my roster of characters, and I needed to draw him out because there's a lot of cops in the comics. So I was like, you know what? I just need to kind of nail what these guys are going to be dressed like out on my city streets. So, but yeah, no, this is him. He's a popular character for the book so far for me. I enjoyed drawing him, and yeah, so I can't wait to show you guys, what I've been working on. But yeah, I'm just trying to get the color, color palette for all the characters, and yeah, so I mean, I have him. Do I have it? Hold on one second. I think I can. No, I can't. I don't have it on. Hold on, wait 1 second.
He can. He thinks he can.
I think I can, but let me. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Okay, so
his name is not Sam. I am.
What
was that laugh?
Okay, so there's another character here that I released, and then this is the main character here. So, these are my little character profile. So I have reference, so I can go back as I'm drawing and just kind of say, hey, you know what? Okay, yeah, this is what he looks like. This is what he's wearing, whatever. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are a couple of the characters that are in the book.
Nice.
So,
and they're gone.
They're gone. They're out of here.
Oh, hold on. I'm working on 3 different screens in my mouse. There it is. Okay, I can't see it because of the mic. Okay, so here's this guy. His name is Night Hunter.
His name is Officer Peters. What do you mean?
But yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll take that off. There you go. Night Hunter.
Nice.
But anyway, so he's one of the antagonists that's in the book, and he's a formidable foe, and I enjoy, and actually Andre enjoys this character the most.
Yeah, I thought he was the coolest character.
Yeah, gives us some like Batman Beyond vibes.
Yeah, no, definitely, a little bit of inspiration, just a little bit for you guys. There's I did this for any Star Wars fan. Let me see. Here we go. His eyes, kind of, I slit him just like a stormtrooper.
Nice.
So that's sort of a little homage to Star Wars. And there's a lot of I put a lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that from pop culture from me, from my childhood growing up. So there's a lot of references, and he has another reference that's not actually it is in the page, but you can't tell it from here. But he does something that will it's from another movie. So pretty cool for me. And I just to have little details like that, kind of make it more fun for me.
Nice.
So, but anyway, and I appreciate it. And yeah, if you guys want to check it out, follow me on Instagram. I'm making a website for this thing, so it won't be too much longer before. I won't be asking for the members and stuff like that on here on my website, but I'm gonna sort of like Dawson reinvigorate my Patreon.
There you go.
That's just gonna kind of resemble and kind of go, sort of be more focused on this type of work that I'm doing.
Nice. I like it.
Gnarly. Very cool.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
And Andre, aside from your new website hub situation, got any final words for us? Any final things to mention? Or
no, just check out the website, Nickatina.net, and then just check out all 3 channels. My other channel, Beyond the Unknown, actually just passed 1,000 subscribers the other day, so I was really excited for that.
So if you're into Sasquatch, that is a
UFOs.
big thing on that channel. I actually helped him out with one of the Sasquatch images.
He helped me capture one.
we caught one, and but we can't release it because we can't confirm that they exist.
We also got killed by one multiple times in the Bigfoot game.
We actually had to sign an NDA. He brought us an NDA that it was on a piece of wood, but we still had to sign it.
And just to show you guys too, this is it, yeah. So if you do become a member of the community on Nickatina.net, this is how it will look. It's just straightforward. Here's all the posts and everyone who's a part of it. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely check that out. And I post things on there daily. So definitely check that out.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. As for me, as I mentioned before, I revamped my Patreon, links in the chat now, but I have a little event this weekend. It's actually it's like a Christian pop culture event, which is a last second edition. It's gonna be interesting. I've never done it before, but been needing to do new events. But an exciting thing for me actually is that I'm doing Baltimore Comic-Con again this year, and I'm actually going to be submitting a piece for the Baltimore Comic-Con yearbook, which is exciting. It's one of those things where people kind of it's incentive for people to go and find all the artists, get signatures, and also like check out their stuff. And this year's theme for Baltimore Comic-Con is the character of the Tick. And so what they said they wanted us to do is they want us to draw either the Tick character or Tick-related characters, or have a character we own and have created interacting with the Tick. And so I decided to have my character Vine Lord fighting the Tick. So I'll blow my screen up so you guys can kind of see that a little bit better. But yeah, so got a little revamped Vine Lord fighting the Tick. I did this today. Maybe a little closer to get see some details. Got the organic leaf cape and bark armor and gauntlet going on here, and of course you got the Tick with his wild expressions. That'll be, once I digitally color that'll be in the yearbook for Baltimore Comic-Con in September. That's really not focused. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's all right. And it's better for me to be out of focus anyway. Anyway, what the fuck is this?
What is this?
There we go.
There it is.
But yeah, so I'll be posting more updates on my artwork, more in-depth look into my process on my Patreon, and more, I guess, exclusive links to different things. Much appreciated, Rhea. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. Got a couple different cons this year, of course, before I moved to Kansas, and that's why you see the office is kind of in shambles and hollow right now, because we're working on packing up the place. But as always, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a decent, pretty good crowd tonight. A lot of
we appreciate everybody coming in, stopping by, adding to the chat. It always helps us out with just talking on the show, because we love interacting with you guys.
Yeah,
absolutely. All those who have supported the channel in any way, shape, or form, you guys really appreciate it. And we're gonna try to make it to where all four of us are on here more often. We're trying to do that. Just again, life is in the way with me moving.
I won't be here next week. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, fine.
We're gonna try to commit to more days per week. And
okay, hold on now.
I mean, we could try to do that. I don't know how successful we could
maybe multiple shows in a day. We don't know.
I might be trying to do more like live streams. I haven't done a drawing live stream in a long time, but like I might try to like cross-platform drawing streams, but we'll see how that goes if I'm able to do that. But as always, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in on today's Wednesday streams. And hope to see y'all on the next one. This is 4Nerds out.